Hand, don't be mistaken. I believe in peace, but I won't be taken. I will not submit to authority of man. I'm ready to die, but not for love. See the signs appear. It's gonna happen here.
This is Liberty Underground. Alex Snicker, Danielle Alexandra, and Greg Bowen on the 1787 Radio Network.
Well, good morning, Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, everybody in Battle Creek, Michigan, and Toronto, Canada. We're going north today, folks. We're going north. You know why Toronto? Because it's damn cold in Florida. It should not be this cold. Cold is tyranny, folks. Cold is tyranny.
Are you blaming the people in Toronto?
I am.
Yes, they brought it down with them.
Yeah, because these Canadians, they come down here and they think that it doesn't get cold because of them, and that's what happens.
So they bring it with them.
Yeah, it's not global warming and global cooling. It's the migration patterns of the Canadians that causes all the problems.
Yes. The weather follows them.
And they clog up our roads.
Yes. With their snow. This is Alex, by the way, co-host Liberty Underground, along with me, the Duchess of Doing Stuff, Hernando County's favorite, most loved libertarian, Danielle Alexandre. Good morning.
Good morning.
Doing well?
I am.
Good. The Prime Minister of the Sinister.
Oh, he remembered it all.
Yes, I did remember it all.
There we go.
I was saying it to myself over and over and over again, by the way. The leader of the booth at the Florida State Fair.
Our fearless leader.
Our fearless leader at the Florida State Fair.
Who's done a fantastic job, by
Who's
the
done
way.
an amazing job. Who does have the world's smallest political quiz up.
It is there.
Was administering it.
And who has also witnessed a lack of support of Mike Cain. Greg Bowen, how you doing, sir?
Spectacular. How you doing?
Doing well. See, did you get can we get a Mike Cain watch at the fair? See if we can have that happen.
Why?
Well,
see, everyone
it's an
has
effort in
witnessed the
futility.
lack of effort from Mike Cain because no one has seen it.
Yeah. When you go to the Keys, I think is what happens. At any rate, or if you're just a loser, one of the two. At any rate, good morning, everybody. I hope hopefully everybody's doing well. Let's get right into it. If you guys want to get right into it.
Well, yeah, and listen, the biggest thing that everybody's talking about, and we can't ignore it, is the debt ceiling has been raised. They're now not raising it to numbers, which I think this is funny. They're not actually saying, well, we'll put another, trillion into the, where you can spend another trillion until you hit the debt ceiling. Now they just give it a date. You can spend unlimitedly until March of 2015. Like, why even have a ceiling then? If you're going to just...
Well, I think that's their next vote.
There's no ceiling if it's unlimited, as long as you do it all before March of 2015.
The debt ceiling is a broken skylight.
It's more like... You ever seen those game shows where they just take a shopping spree and you have like 3 minutes to just put as much stuff in the cart as you can?
Yes. I love
That is what the debt ceiling limit now is.
Yeah, exactly. No, here's the thing too. When they raised this last one, there's no need to they weren't trying to get into a fight about it. So they basically ran it clean, said it's till March of 2015. And that they really can spend as much money as they want to. And 28 Republicans joined all the Democrats but two in voting for it 221 to 201. And the Republicans that did it was like the leaders. Like it was Boehner, Cantor.
Yeah, you have, and I have the list here. You have Boehner,
give me the list.
Boehner, Cantor, Kevin McCarthy,
He's the majority
whip. The chief deputy whip, which is Pete Roscom, Kevin Calvert, Dave Camp, Michael Grimm, Richard Hanna, Doc Hastings, Daryl Issa, Devin Nunes, Hal Rogers, Dave Rickert, Chris Collins, Howard Coble, Charlie Dent, Mike Fitzpatrick, Peter King.
Evil.
Frank Lobiondo, Buck McKeon, Patrick Meehan, Gary Miller, Ed Royce, John Runyon, Jim Shimkus, I lost my place. Chris Smith, David Valadio, and Frank Wolf.
Now, what you notice, too, if you know where these people are from, is there's a lot of New York, there's a lot of California,
Yes.
some Pennsylvania, a bunch of New Jersey.
No, a Republican voted for the debt ceiling.
No, none of those did that. One of them is because he's probably snorting coke somewhere, but
I think he
oh no,
officially
he's
resigned now.
He had no chance to vote for that, huh? He was he was too busy with
Well,
some coke.
he was treating his alcoholism with cocaine.
Yes, yes. That's look. When I have alcoholism, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Luckily, I don't have alcoholism, and I choose not to snort cocaine.
Now it also did you pull up the Senate one too when they talked about the Senate?
I didn't. I haven't been able to find the Senate. I can tell you that Mitch McConnell voted for it, though.
Well, what happened? No. What happened is that McConnell didn't. Well, he might have voted for it too.
Yeah.
But what McConnell did,
He blocked the filibuster.
yeah, he blocked the filibuster.
Yeah. Now, the Senate actually took and this is why it's been hard to find, the Senate actually took a silent vote.
Cowards.
Yeah.
Cowards.
So, and they did, they do this sometimes. It's one of those, and this was to basically not allow a filibuster.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell did block the filibuster. The filibuster was going to be, Ted Cruz said he was going to filibuster. He did not believe in raising the debt ceiling. And he started, and you have to have a vote to keep things going, and Mitch McConnell blocked it. So eventually Ted Cruz did have to stop.
Yeah. So Cruz had to stop the vote, or had to stop the filibuster. He was able to stop the filibuster. Now, when they voted on it, I know that there were some that voted for it, but I don't remember. They didn't need everybody. You know what I mean? They didn't need Republicans to get that one done.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the vote now. It was very hard to find, like I said, because they did the silent vote.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because these guys in Washington are that evil. They don't want you to know what's going on. We're going back to that evil comment before. Anybody that hold on, I want to find this out from Daniel.
No, they're good guys. They're stepping in place of the deadbeat dad. The debt limit isn't mine, but I'm going to raise it.
He just equated. Did he really just do that?
Yes, he did. He just equated raising the debt ceiling to deadbeat dads.
To taking care of somebody else's kid?
Yeah.
Taking care of a bastard kid?
Yes.
Wow. I don't even know what to say about that.
I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. But at any rate, though, the Republicans up there, and this is the bottom line here. In order for them to raise the debt ceiling, and the way in which they did that, it took both Republicans and Democrats to make that happen.
Right.
Even when you had the one Republican on the Senate side trying to filibuster this, the other Republicans made sure that didn't happen. Boy, that takeover going real well. Going real super well, guys. I got to tell you, I got to give you a lot of credit, man. I mean, you guys are not able to get anything done very effectively. Now, I know. There's no libertarians up there. I hear you there. We'll see on March 12th how different that story is. The other thing about the debt ceiling is that they really have no caring whatsoever about what happens to people's kids, like to the next generation. They really have no care whatsoever about what they're going to lay on to the feet of the next future generations. I mean, these guys in all reality are, and again, this is not literally, it's figuratively. It's like going into the cradle and just stealing all of the future money that they're going to earn. Stealing it, just taking it from them. And then making the claim as they're spending it on this generation is that we're doing it for you. Like, no, you're not. You're selfish. You people are selfish. You got your money stolen by the government, and you figure the only way to keep it going is for you to have this government steal money for you from the next generation. Because, well, somebody stole it from me, so I should steal it from somebody else. It's pathetic. It really is. And anybody that votes for any of these people in office that are still up there right now, if you vote for them, you deserve it. You deserve every bit of it. You deserve every bit of it that's coming. And for all you Republicans that go, well, we're trying, we're gonna change the party from the inside.
And they tell us that, voting for a libertarian is a waste of a vote. Yet you thought that your vote was going to bring about change.
And has brought about nothing.
Yeah.
So who wasted their vote?
Yeah. It's a very good point, Greg. It's a very good point. Who wasted their vote? Again, look, all we can do, and this is the other thing, too. At certain times like this, I wanted to bring this up. This is a good time to bring this up. Jolly. I wanted to say this about Jolly. For all those people that are like, well, we need to work within the system. I was under the impression, even from these guys, as stupid as a plan as it is that working within the system is not to get people that would raise the debt ceiling elected. Like, I can understand if you want to go find good Republican candidates that you think that they are. I don't know of many, but maybe 5. I can understand that you wanted to get those guys elected, right? But David Jolly should not fit your bill at all. There's nothing limited government. This guy was with Bill Young for years. Was Bill Young a limited government guy? No, Bill Young was the definition of pork.
David Jolly did say he was asked, would he have voted to increase the debt ceiling? And he did say yes.
Wow.
And he was lobbying for the things that required the debt ceiling to be raised.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, you can argue chicken or the egg with that one, but he still would have done it.
Well, here's the thing is I went through his lobbying records, and I went through all, since 2007, and the biggest biggest type of company that he lobbied for was defense contractors.
Yeah. Do tell, Danielle. Do tell.
Basically, and
Preach it, girl. Preach it.
It's about
Do it in a little bit of a story. Can you hold on? No, I hate to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but can you do it in like a fairy tale?
Once upon a time on K Street.
Once upon a time
On K Street.
on K Street, there was a man, and his name was David Jolly. And David Jolly was a very wealthy man. Mm-hmm. And he was wealthy because he worked for some of the largest military contractors in the country. And he worked very diligently to make sure our country stayed at war so that his clients would keep raking in billions of dollars.
I like that. That was very good. Good job, Danielle.
And they all lived wealthily ever after.
Right?
Yes.
The rest of the country suffers.
Yep. On the backs of the soldiers that they claim to support. It really is sad and pathetic, guys. It really is. Anybody, if you're, I said this last week and Danielle got all mad at me. You people are evil. You gotta know you're evil. Again, stop supporting him. And the funny thing is Jolly's doing it to himself. That's the most beautiful thing. I know they're going to try to keep him out of certain places. I know they're going to try to keep him out of certain events.
Right.
But if you let Lucas in, he pulls people over. We weren't there, but we heard about. Was it Tuesday night?
No, Wednesday night.
Wednesday might be Wednesday night.
I think it was Wednesday night.
They had a association down there that was one of the homeowners associations. Mm-hmm. Were having a candidates night, and at the candidates night, initially they invited all 3.
Right.
Sink refused because Sink's a coward.
Right.
Sink's just, and honestly, she really doesn't have a clue what's going on in life.
Well, she showed in that debate she has no business being in front of people answering questions.
She's an embarrassed. Be honest with you, if I was a woman, I would be embarrassed by her.
Well, and that's the thing is Sink cancels, and she did a lot of this when she was running for governor. She doesn't do a lot of Q&A or any kind of candidate forum where she would have to answer questions because she's actually horrible at it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's beyond a mess when you ask her a question.
I could have been drunk and lost a limb just before I got up there, and I think I could have answered better than her.
You would have had better composure.
I would have had better composure, yeah. And I wouldn't have had that fake-ass Southern accent either.
Well,
fake!
I can't say whether her
accent
was fake.
I can, it's fake.
But I can say that you can almost tell how rehearsed she is because no matter what the question is, she'd bring up some obscure story about like some person she met, and most of the time it had nothing to do with the question. So it was like they rehearsed her on a few answers, and she would just, I don't really have an answer for that question, so I'll give you this. And everyone was kind of like, well, wait, what? That kind of wasn't what they asked, or even the subject of what they asked. You know?
I love how she's running to represent the people of Pinellas County in Congressional District 13, but all of her anecdotes but one were stories from growing up in North Carolina, everywhere else.
I met this young couple in Valrico.
Yeah.
Maybe she's geographically challenged. Maybe she doesn't actually know where Congressional District 13 is.
She's goodly challenged. Or another way to say it, she's evil. I know everybody has their own definition of evil, and that mine is a very wide scale of the definition.
You cast a wide net.
I do cast a wide net, but at any rate, it's the other reason that even in a special election like this, that the numbers, when it comes to the number of people that actually vote in this election, is not going to be very high. It's still going to be lower numbers.
Well,
the only factor I think that really is contributing to increasing in the numbers is Lucas.
It is, because if you're even the super voters, the people who always vote, when you're left with Sink or Jolly, you're kind of like, why bother? I actually said this.
Yeah, unless you're the party stalwarts.
Unless you are the party stalwarts who just want to keep the seat for the sake of keeping the seat, or taking the seat for the sake of taking the seat. But, I was actually in a discussion with someone, and they used the whole split the vote, and they said, well, I don't understand anyone who says you can't see a difference between Jolly and Sink. And I said, no, you know what? I've never said that there isn't a difference. I've said that they're equally bad. You have one who's going to keep us at never-ending wars, or the other one that's going to, take away, every gun out of any person's hand. And one is going to grow government and social issues. One is going to grow government for corporate cronies. I mean, listen, there's a difference, and it's what they're going to spend your money on after they steal it. But don't get me wrong, they're equally bad. And I've kind of said, it's kind of like you're saying, would you like to be hanged, or would you like to be poisoned, or would you like to live free? And someone says, well, I don't know how many people are going to choose live free, so hang me so I don't get poisoned. Like, what?
Yeah. And I will say there is no difference between them, because when it comes to the problems we're faced with and the solutions they're offering, there really is no difference.
Right.
We're not going to have a different result.
No, you guys are just stupid, because being hung is much better than being poisoned by cyanide. You people need to get in the game. That's the problem. You're not in the game. Being hung is much better. If you can't see that, then you know what? Go out there and live free if you want to. Go out there and live free if you want to. But I would rather be hung, because I'm in the game. I'm going to be killed. So, thank you.
And that's why I equated
You stupid libertarians.
And I equated it to that, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to take the chance to live free every chance I get, even if it's a slim chance.
You don't like to be hung. You know what it is? You just support cyanide. That's what it is. If you vote for living free, then cyanide wins. Every time you hear that argument, I want you to replace it with being hung against cyanide.
Being
poisoned with cyanide. No, and you have to be poisoned with cyanide.
Okay.
You can't be poisoned with anything else. Poisoned with cyanide.
I don't know what else poisoned you, by the way, so I'd have to choose cyanide.
There's a lot of other things that poison you.
I'm just not up on how to poison people.
It could be alcohol poisoning.
Does this rag smell like chloroform?
Well, I don't think I'd kill you, though, would it?
Well, enough of it.
Eventually, I guess.
Not the amount that's on the rag. That's just.
I don't think I have that much here. So.
In the trunk is another story.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah. So, well, I actually did find that no Republican in the Senate voted for raising the debt ceiling, but that doesn't matter because it got raised because they don't have a majority.
No, it took a bunch of them to clear out for the filibuster, though.
But that's what happened is it did take, and this was, the bigger vote and the vote that everybody's talking about, which is why it's hard to find the roll call vote for the actual real vote, is that most people are talking about this filibuster. Ted Cruz was absolutely ready to filibuster the debt ceiling increase.
Which wouldn't have necessarily, all it would have done was postpone it.
And it would have just postponed it.
Because you're only going to have so much time up there. You can't filibuster forever.
Unless you're Alex Snicker.
I would have. Just so you know, voters in Florida, I'd still be filibustering right now.
Still be filibustering Obamacare.
Yeah, while Rubio's doing what he's doing, I'd have been up there filibustering. So, boy, hey, I wonder who wasted their vote in that election. Don't think it was me. Don't think it was Greg. Don't think it was Danielle.
No, I did not waste my vote.
Yeah.
So the bigger thing, and who did block it was basically Mitch McConnell and John Cornyn.
Oh, by the way, Mitch McConnell, who is supported and endorsed by Rand Paul.
Yeah, and that's what I think is the funny thing is, Rand Paul went out and, endorsed him again, because he's still, he's in a Senate race. Now it's 2014, so everybody kind of re-endorses people and, goes out on the campaign trail with him again. And so this week, Rand Paul did re-endorse Mitch McConnell for Senate in Kentucky. And this is the funny thing. There's a really good candidate against Mitch McConnell who's primarying him in Kentucky.
I think the dude's got a little bit of money, too.
He does. He actually, I've been on his website. Now, okay, when I say a good Republican, I mean he's better than Mitch McConnell, but he's still a Republican. He's still, he's still on the social issues, not with us at all.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So I would still not,
Does he want to ban blowjobs?
pretty close.
Oh, my goodness.
He wants to give you a ticket and a fine.
So
Just I'm saying.
he's better than Mitch McConnell. But that
Which doesn't take much.
Yeah, that's
Again,
not even setting the bar up that high.
bar's really low for that. But so there is someone who basically was a Rand Paul supporter, was a Ron Paul supporter, running against Mitch McConnell, and Rand endorsed Mitch.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Don't feel bad. There was a whole bunch of Ron Paul people that were in Texas that would run for office, and Ron Paul would endorse their competition.
Right, he did. And that was, and anyone, we've talked about this before, Ron Paul on endorsements has always kind of been really bad.
Well, he was asked about that.
Well, he says, I am the most independent voter up in Congress that you'll ever have, but even I can only get away with so much. Mm-hmm. That was his answer.
Yep.
So, he backs establishment hacks, and he admits it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they probably threatened him as well.
But so Mitch McConnell and John Cornyn blocked they were basically the big ones blocking the filibuster. Ted Cruz did not get to filibuster. It was because of these, so-called Tea Party leaders, which is so funny because these guys are just establishment hacks. But they blocked Senator Ted Cruz. He was willing to filibuster. No Republicans voted for the debt ceiling increase, but it wouldn't have mattered anyways. It was going to go up no matter what.
And they knew that.
And they knew that.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. That was they knew that it was going to go up anyway. That's why they voted that way to try and be able to play it off to the people who don't listen to this show, who don't understand what's going on.
Well, you got to remember, the only one now that can really talk trash to say I didn't do it was Ted Cruz because he wanted to filibuster it.
Right.
And then nobody else had his back.
Yeah, and that is the one thing where Ted Cruz can say, listen, I tried to at least stop this and make people more aware and, give it some time, but you guys blocked me, you dumbasses, But, and listen, and I applaud Senator Ted Cruz for doing that, although the same week that he is, going up there and willing to filibuster the debt ceiling, he is also the person saying, trying to step in the way of same-sex marriage.
God, I wish these guys would just have a little ideological consistency. God, it would be so nice, but we know that's not going to happen because, once you put an R or D next to your name, you just lose that. So,
and because, the future debt of our children doesn't matter near as much as whether or not we can let those gay people get married.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to be the fall of the United States.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you need to ask permission to get married in this country. You understand me, America?
I mean, now part of it, I don't necessarily disagree with the stance that he took. And what the stance that he took is that the federal government shouldn't go into a state that has, one of those defensive marriage amendments and allow any other couple to be recognized in the tax code. Which I kind of understand the whole don't let the federal government step on the states, but that's the issue that you chose?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, on civil rights, that's about the only time I do support the federal government stepping in and getting the states right.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the other thing. What he's not doing is saying, "Hey, why don't we just get out of it altogether?" Like, he's not even saying the federal government shouldn't, let's take it out of the tax code and let the states decide. He's just trying to say, well, no, we have to defend marriage in the states that want to defend marriage.
Right.
Yeah.
Which sounds a whole lot to me like, we need to defend the right for people to own other people as property in the states where people are allowed to be owned as property. Sounds a whole lot like that old debate that we had a war over in this country.
I just, it's one of those issues that why he tried to spin it as, no, I'm just trying to get the feds out of state business. Really? Like that's the one you picked?
Isn't he the same guy though that said that the feds that the state shouldn't do the legalization when it comes to marijuana and stuff?
Yes, that was him also.
So again, debt ceiling vote, Ted Cruz, love you. Rest of it, no.
Well, and that's what and I've brought this up before. People keep talking about this. Oh, well, you guys split the vote. You would just take away wins from a Republican. No, we don't like you guys. Like, we don't like your candidates. Listen, Ted Cruz on the debt ceiling, great. Would I vote for him? No, because on social issues, he's miserable. So he doesn't represent me. He doesn't represent my ideals or my philosophy or my, ideology. So why would I support him or worry about if he wins? I don't like him.
Yeah.
and quite frankly, posturing over the debt ceiling when he knows it's not going to accomplish anything is not impressive to me either.
Again, you people need to be working your way to get hung because being killed by cyanide, being poisoned by cyanide is so horribly bad. This whole live free thing, I don't understand what you people think you're trying to do here.
I'm getting so aggravated with that argument because I look at it as libertarians are putting someone in the race that represents their ideology. They're putting someone in the race where they have a chance of being represented, their beliefs being represented in government. So all you people are like, well, you're just splitting. You just want that person to win. You just want that person to win. No, I hate them both. I want someone in the race that I can vote for because I believe in what they believe. I'm not taking a vote from anyone because you wouldn't get it because I hate you people.
We hate you, and my vote is not your property.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, going back to that war we fought that said people are not your property.
I would like to, what I would really like to, well, not like to see, but what I'm going to be doing moving forward, though, when it comes to voting, in order for you to earn my vote as a D or an R, you really got to be, one, you got to be bringing it better than anybody else. Mm-hmm. Two, there better be nobody that's an MPA or a third party or libertarian in the race. Because if there is, it doesn't matter how good you are, I ain't voting for you anymore. But more, and you know what? In every race, not every race, at least not every race in Florida, right, but there's always a race in Florida that you're voting on. Then more than likely, there's a third party guy in there. There's somebody that's not right, a D or an R on your ballot. Right. We saw that in here in Pasco. I think in
2012.
In 2012, we saw that. It was most seats. Now, some of those people are certifiably insane.
Right, and I didn't vote for any of the insane ones. And
I did skip the insanity.
In 2012, there was actually a couple Democrats that I really liked, and I'm very glad that I voted for them. And there was... I don't remember voting for any Republicans, actually, because I thought they all were kind of bad. Oh, no. I did vote for one. I voted for one Republican for county commission.
Yeah.
And then the rest was, a third party or an NPA. Or in one case, there was no third choice, and I hated the two choices, and I just didn't vote. You didn't earn my vote. You don't get it.
There was one. You know what we were doing in 12 was the Senate. Remember, we were going to support Connie Mack because he said a whole bunch of good stuff, and then he shined us on the interview.
Yes, and then I did not vote for Connie Mack.
Yeah, he lost votes for that. It could have cost him. I actually think his snubbing of our show cost him the election.
Well, it at least cost him 3 votes.
Yes, but you're gonna get poisoned by cyanide instead of hung.
And I kind of look at it like, but I'm still dead.
It doesn't matter. You just don't know. You don't understand. That's the thing. You don't understand.
One's a better dead.
Yes, it's a much better dead to be hung than it is to be poisoned by cyanide. I don't know what's wrong. You purist libertarians just don't make any sense. You people are so stupid that you want to live free instead of being hung. Being hung is the smart answer. That's playing the game. You need to play the game.
Yeah, I don't know what game I want to play where I'm hung at the end.
If you want to play the GOP Democrat game, then yeah, that's what happens. It's in the rule book, man. You haven't read that part?
I actually, and this is a funny story, and I know we're way off track on the show prep, but I actually was at the state fair last night, and you had left. I forget where you went, but there was an older couple, and they were talking.
To buy you fry Oreos.
Yeah, it was to buy me fried Oreos. They were so yummy.
They're delicious.
They are delicious,
They are
though.
delicious.
By the way, they are.
Fried Oreos, yummy. So there's this older couple, and they're, oh, libertarians, they never win. They don't, and I was telling them we win some local elections and some people that were in office and things like that. And they were, oh, you guys, there's no chance. And they go down this whole thing, get to the governor's race, and they're like, I hate both those people. Who's your candidate?
That's actually where I was having the best luck as well, was coming to the governor's race, because there were a lot of Republicans, a lot of Democrats I was talking to, and they were having a real hard time with libertarianism, the Libertarian Party. We were getting into debates over Obamacare
Right.
and all these different things, but when they came to the governor's race, they were taking Wiley cards.
I'm going to live free.
Everybody was walking away with a Wiley card from that booth.
The lady actually gave me the argument I usually give to other people when they talk about the splitting the vote. But she goes, yeah, but for this governor's race here in Florida, like, who really cares? Because those guys both did the same thing. And one's the current Republican. The other guy used to be a Republican. So honestly, who's your candidate? Because they both suck. I was like, here you go.
God bless America.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? And this is the other thing. This bears mentioning. Unlike my friends not my friends, 'cause I won't call them friends, but unlike those that would like to support Jolly and tell Lucas that he shouldn't be running in the race, I've actually walked the doors and talked to the people in that community, and not just on Facebook or at a rec meeting.
What's your clout score?
Yeah, I don't know my clout score. Here's the thing: I have a knock score, and it's way higher than any of the rest of theirs combined. So let's do that. I don't have a clout score. I got a knock score. But at any rate, I've talked to the regular voters that do not pay attention all the time to politics, but that also don't have a passionate stake in the game. Is that a way to look at it? Like,
Yeah.
they don't have a passionate stake for either Democrats or Republicans or Libertarians, for that matter. They don't have a passionate stake for any of them. So they wouldn't be on Facebook getting in an argument with other people about why they should be supporting one candidate or another. Those people would consider that to be just a waste of time.
Right.
Right, they're playing Candy Crush.
They're on Facebook taking pictures of their dinner.
Right.
It's possible that they're doing that. It's possible. It's also possible these people aren't on Facebook.
That is true.
There's a whole lot of different ranging of to do things. I'll tell you what they're not doing, though. They're not arguing to get hung.
No, they're not.
In lieu of cyanide. But in talking to these people, what I say out here on the radio is what I hear from these people.
Right.
Like, if anything, you should take the words that I say and consider that the feeling of the general public. I think I'm pretty close.
Certainly closer than anybody who has actually been elected.
Well, yeah, no, and I'm saying a lot closer than these people that are supposed to be politically in the know.
Well, they're not, because they spend their time behind a keyboard.
Right.
Yeah.
And they spend their time only at political events of their party. So they're only hearing that side of
Right.
it.
They ultimately preaching to the choir.
Right. When we go out to walking doors, we're hitting every party. And I always like when you go down and you hit like the other third parties that are, I've been at Green Party doors and Independence parties and all this. And I, I love it. You get to these doors, we're at NPAs, Republicans, Democrats, everybody. And no matter what, when you say, well, I'm here about the District 13 race, they all say the same things. I hate those two guys.
Yeah, who's your guy?
Who's your guy?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't even matter that they're all from different parties. Now you will see the ones now when they have a political bumper sticker on their car or something like that. Then when you go there, as soon as you go to the door, they're for their party.
Yes.
That wasn't always the case.
No,
though.
not always the case. But they're not as open as the general ones.
Maybe not, but I had weird things going on out there.
well, we had Republicans that were saying they were voting for Sink. In
Yeah,
fact,
that 19% number in that poll was actually, I think, is actually pretty accurate.
here's the thing, is more times than not, I haven't heard one Democrat say that they're going to vote for Jolly, but I've had a lot of Republicans say that they're going to vote for Sink. And then when I've showed them Lucas's card, they're like, oh, well, maybe I'll look at him. I just didn't want that other guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be weird. I'm going to tell you, I can't wait to see the exit polling on this one,
Yeah.
to see where all the votes ended up coming from. And I will tell you this right now. This race really is Lucas's to lose. And I know that the Politico doesn't report on it. None of these people ever report on it. But it really is Lucas's to lose. I mean, it's really his supporters to lose, I guess,
Right.
more than Lucas's. Lucas is doing the things he needs to do. But if we make the phone calls and if we do, the door knocking and the phone banking, and we get those people that wouldn't normally vote to come out and vote, then he will win. Now, the one thing that did come out was a poll just the other day that had him at 12%. But that was 12% with super voters.
Yes. This was a St. Leo poll, which I had for the next hour, but I just pulled it up. They did a St. Leo poll, and what they did was there was some questions that they would use to qualify you to finish the poll.
Yeah.
And one of the questions were, have you voted in the last, I forget how many elections, but it was, you had to have voted in the last 4 elections. I believe it was 4.
I don't remember exactly what it was. It was a, let's see, how can I explain this? They had 3 qualifiers, and the one was, do you vote regularly, I think is what it was.
Right.
And if you say no, or you had 4 choices. One of them was I vote all the time. One of them I vote most of the time. One of them is I occasionally vote. And the last one is I never vote. The last 2 got you removed.
Right.
Then the next line of questionings was, do you know where your polling location is? Mm-hmm. And if you answered no to that,
Then you got kicked out.
And then the third one was, did you plan on voting that day? Which is actually a very legitimate question. If you answered no, then you probably shouldn't be in the poll. I mean,
Well, but they
I'll
even-
go with that being a good qualifier.
They kicked
right
out
there.
undecideds, though.
Yeah, they kicked out I don't knows either. I don't know if I'm going to go and vote. Now, the reason I bring this up and why this is important, now, I'm not mad at the polling company either, by the way. I'm not angry with the polling company. The reason I'm not angry with the polling company is those people are basing their information off of elections past. Mm-hmm. And that we as libertarians have not yet earned, and the word is earned,
Right.
earned the right to say we're going to go get those voters because we haven't done it before.
Oh, yeah.
So while I disagree with their numbers based off of what's going on with Lucas, I don't disagree with necessarily their methodology until we prove them wrong. Now, it is on us to prove them wrong, though.
Right.
It is on us that we have to be able to prove these people wrong. But with that being said, we haven't done that yet.
No, and we haven't. And, I think that as a party, we're getting more structured and organized to be able to do that. I think more people are joining us that are willing to put in the work to do that. So,
Absolutely.
I can't say when the first libertarian is going to be elected. I think that we have a good chance in March.
To Congress. Because libertarians are elected all the time.
That's what, to a higher office, to like a statewide office or to a federal office.
Yeah.
Is what I meant.
It could be March, though. Now, from my understanding, I've heard reports, and that there are people that get contacted after they turn their absentee ballot in. And when they were contacted, they were like, no, I already voted for Lucas.
Yeah.
So, like, they already, without us contacting them, they did it. Again, Sink and Jolly are doing half the work for us.
Yeah.
They are assaulting the citizens with their negative attack ads. And they have no positive. I mean, there are very few. I don't think I've seen, like, I know Alex Sinks tries to fake a positive one, but it's the first 30 seconds of it is not her doing nothing but,
It's like a
calling
half
them,
and half.
Yeah, calling them every name under the sun.
And it's so clearly a fake positive ad.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think the voters realize that all these negative ads, everything negative that Alex Sink says and everything negative that David Jolly says, it's all true. That's the only thing that they say that's true.
That's true. It is. And they just attack each other. But this is how things go in almost every race all the time when you see these. We've gotten to the point in our country where more elections are won on fear. It's who can fear monger the most.
Yeah, that is what it's come down to.
If I can scare the crap out of you about the other guy more than they can scare the crap out of you about me, I win. Like, as a country, don't we have to kind of look in and say, wow, maybe this isn't the right way to go?
Yeah.
You'd think so. You really would. I'd love to see a candidate with a bunch of money actually roll out nothing but positivity.
Right. This is what I'm going to do.
There's a quote that I proliferate across the internet every election season as much as I can. This election season, Democrats and Republicans are going to spend millions of dollars to convince you that the other side is unfit to govern, and they're both right.
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean, at some point you just have to, and I've actually said this to a couple family members when they're like, because they always give me that, well, why libertarian? And I'm like, don't you ever question yourself why you vote out of fear of the other person? And then the other person that votes for the other guy is voting out of fear of your guy? Like, maybe we should start voting for people we're not afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree with you. But here's the thing, though. Being hung is so much better than being poisoned by cyanide. I mean, you gotta come around to my way of thinking on this, Danielle. Can you at least admit that being hung is better than being poisoned?
No.
Ah, you're such a
No,
purist.
I'm still going to go for live free.
Here we go.
Even if
with
it's
your
just a
live
small
free.
chance
Oh my
of
gosh.
being able to live free.
Oh, you libertarians and your I want to live free and look, just come over and get hung.
It's hanged.
Look.
But I like it so much better when he says hung.
Hunged. Come over and get hunged. It's so much. It is better that way. So, all right. What else we got going on?
I don't know. We're so off track.
We'll get back. Let's get back on track.
I know.
Let's get back on track.
We're totally off the rails.
Wednesdays from 10:30 to 12:30.
Now, so we're talking about Ted Cruz when we got way off track, and how he was doing, he basically only wants the federal government out of the business of not defending marriage, or whatever.
Yeah.
I might have said that wrong. But in Virginia, which if we all remember Virginia, where some of the most stringent of you can't do what you like in your bedroom laws have come from. Virginia's same-sex marriage ban has actually been ruled by a federal judge unconstitutional. So now they didn't rule on the banning of jobs. They have ruled that the same-sex marriage ban is unconstitutional. Now this will, and actually they did rule on the blowjob ban because they ruled that unconstitutional 3 years ago, which is why the law isn't there now. But
Anybody that's ever gotten a blowjob actually voted in favor of that being unconstitutional, by the way.
So Virginia's same-sex marriage ban has been ruled unconstitutional by a federal court. Now this is probably going to go up to the Supreme Court, who has actually already ruled in several cases that those are unconstitutional. So we'll see where that leads. But another court ruling did come out too. Another state law was ruled unconstitutional, and that was in California. Their concealed carry rule has also been overturned by federal courts as unconstitutional. And what this does is say that to have a concealed carry permit, you have to show good cause for needing it. And this has now been ruled unconstitutional.
Awesome.
And that was the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, by the way?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know what those guys were thinking.
Well, that the Circuit Court of Appeals is the one that ruled it unconstitutional.
Well, yeah, but if you know anything about the history of the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals,
well, yeah,
though,
they
that these guys are like some of the...
Right, they're not exactly Constitution lovers.
This ain't an NRA front group.
This is the court that the saying activist liberal judges comes from.
Yeah, literally.
That is true.
These guys, it says it on the front of the building. Warning, activist liberal judges inside, giving out cyanide packets. If you would like to be hung, please move to Montana. You guys should go to California and see it. It's amazing. They give you a little map to
where all the cyanide.
Oh yeah. Oh no. They give you. Well, you know what it is though. They don't want. You have to be a certain age. You have to be over 18.
Over 18.
Yeah.
For
Then they give you the cyanide.
And then it's provided by the state.
Well, yeah. Well, of course.
stolen from the taxpayers.
That only makes sense.
No. So this is one of those, and I mean, I would think having to show good cause to have a weapon on you would be an infringement of your Second Amendment rights.
Yes.
Yes.
The whole shall not be infringed thing, I think, does kick in then.
It might.
Apparently in California it has. This was actually a San Diego restriction. It was actually a city, kind of like a city ordinance. It wasn't a state law, but it went to the Ninth Circuit Court, and it was ruled unconstitutional. It does infringe on, and what they did rule was that it infringes on the U.S. citizen's Second Amendment right to bear arms.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a good ruling. I like that one.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's true. That's true. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Anything else you wanted to add to that one, Danielle?
No, that's it.
We did get through everything we're supposed to get through in hour one so far, so we do have some house cleaning issues that I would like to bring up.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Well, unless you got something else.
I always have more, but that's fine.
Well, let's bring this up and then go to something else. The first one is if you do live in the state of Florida and you are a libertarian, then I want to make sure to invite you to the Libertarian Party of Florida State Convention that will happen on May 16th through 18th. The website is lpf2014.com. lpf2014.com. You do have to be registered as a delegate. You have to be a libertarian up to 60 days before May 16th in order to be a delegate. You can just show up as a regular person.
You can observe. We don't force people out who aren't delegates or aren't
you just
voting
can't
members.
vote.
You just can't vote.
Yeah, you just can't vote. You just can't vote. It don't make you a bad person. You know, makes you're fine if you can't vote, but that's just the way it is.
You just can't vote.
You just can't vote. But if you also want to sponsor it, there's a lot of sponsorship opportunities there. They're pretty cheap, actually. They're not very expensive sponsorship opportunities. Judge Jim Gray is going to be there. There's going to be some leadership from the LNC is going to be there, which I'm really looking forward to talking to those people, by the way.
I'm really looking forward to watching that.
Yes.
I am actually very excited to have Judge Jim Gray there, though.
Yes.
That is one of the events. That is one of the banquets and things that I am actually interested. I'm considering asking Alex if we can buy a ticket.
Yeah, you might.
Because I actually really like Judge Jim Gray. I met him once at Paul Fest, and he was by far one of the nicest people that I have ever met in my entire life. Just so absolutely a wonderful person. And I love how, I love his stances on the issues too, but just to see what a very actually, caring person and, very humble person that he is, to be doing this and to just always want to be thanking all the supporters and everything. I get very endeared to people that are like that. So I really like Judge Jim Gray. I'm actually really excited that he's going to be at our convention.
Yeah, it should be a good time. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Now, where did you want to go, Danielle?
Like you break segues, like it's so abrupt. But we were talking about Rand Paul earlier, and this was another one of those big things in the news that I kind of have halfway watched and halfway been like, who cares? And that is Rand Paul's his lawsuit now that he's filed against the U.S. government because of the NSA.
Yes.
And it is a class action lawsuit that he's filed now. And what do you think about it?
Well, first off, I think it's political theater in and of itself. I don't find the value in it because I don't think that they're doing it to actually sue. I think that they did it in order to get in the press, to get some political points there. I don't think it was plagiarized either. I know that was something else that was coming up.
Well, and you know who they said he plagiarized it from?
Fine. Bruce Fine.
Ken Cuccinelli.
No. They said Cuccinelli was part of it.
Yeah, that he was part of plagiarizing it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean who they were plagiarizing it from, but who it was plagiarizing it. Because it is actually, the attorney on this is Ken Cuccinelli.
It is now. It wasn't in the beginning,
no,
but it is now.
No, it wasn't in the beginning. Well, because he was thinking that he was going to be governor and banning everything.
Yeah, oops.
But I always got to find a new
But I
job.
think the addition of Cuccinelli now again, Bruce Fine is still involved in the lawsuit.
Right.
He was paid I mean, it's not like, and his ex-wife coming out, that was crap. That was total crap. That was I don't know why she did that. Bruce Fine himself has cleared the air on this, so they have no wrongdoing whatsoever for that. Rand and Rand has no wrongdoing there.
No, and there, Bruce Fine did actually come, and he basically said, she doesn't speak for me.
Yeah,
that was his actual. He says her quotes were her own and did not represent my views.
yeah.
So, no, there was no there. I love to see the little controversies over something like this because, in all honesty, it's the controversy that got more news than the actual lawsuit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and that's what they wanted to do. And again, look, I think that bringing this up for attention is not necessarily a bad thing either. So I'm a little bit two ways on the lawsuit itself, but I don't think that they're serious about it, though. And I think I don't think they're serious because they brought in Ken Cuccinelli. The fact that you would bring in Ken Cuccinelli and get rid of Bruce Fine, who is a brilliant person.
No, Bruce Fine is actually a very, very good attorney. I did question it because he wasn't involved anymore. Because bringing in someone like Ken Cuccinelli, as much as it's funny, he was the attorney general. The guy's a lawyer. I mean, he does know what he's talking about. But when you bring someone like that in, it's almost like you're trying to make the lawsuit like a caricature of a lawsuit.
All right.
Well, what it is that that there is some political points that are to be had for this. You don't want to, and again, not my thoughts on this, their thoughts on this, waste those points on somebody like Bruce Fine when you can give those points to Ken Cuccinelli.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to know that Ken Cuccinelli is going to run for something down the road. I mean...
Oh, absolutely he's going to run for something down the road.
That guy...
I mean, he really wants to ban things.
Oh, yeah, everything.
He's a really big fan of banning stuff, Again,
fun stuff.
Yeah. He wants to set up policies that make you get hung.
But we love hung.
Oh, here we go again. Don't talk to me, Danielle, about your...
I said, but we're supposed to love being hanged.
Oh, well, you are supposed to love it, actually. So,
but yeah, I actually think that Bruce Fine not being involved actually lowers the credibility of the lawsuit.
The actual lawsuit, yes, you're right about that. It does do that. The political play, Bruce Fine wouldn't have changed that.
No, I actually think if you were just doing this for recognition, to make it into a theatrical, thing, Ken Cuccinelli was the better choice.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Bruce Fine because Bruce Fine seems to be serious.
Yeah, he was actually going to argue the merits of getting rid of the NSA.
Yeah.
Now, who would want that?
Yeah. We don't want to actually win the lawsuit.
That would be silly.
We just want to get attention and get our names in the paper.
I have a brilliant lawyer that could actually, argue the case of why this is unconstitutional and should end.
Yeah. Now, and don't get me wrong. Look, the hit job that they did on the Fine thing, though, that was crap. They should not have done that.
Right.
And that was the retaliation for what they're doing, to try to discredit Paul, which, again, considering that he was plagiarizing things before, it's easy to do. Sorry, it's just the way it is. I mean, the guy was doing that before. I know you can say apologize and it was a staffer and all that other kind of stuff, but here's the difference. If you can go up there and speak from the heart, you don't have to do those things.
Right.
And then like Rand Paul, I actually do that stuff, so I can't understand where he's coming from. And he should be able to speak from the heart too, because he was around his dad for that long. But you got to believe what your dad believes, and unfortunately, you don't.
No, and I don't think he does. And
I don't think so either. But
and people like Ted Cruz too. I always hear that. Well, they're playing the game. No, on things like social issues, I don't understand the play the game there because people like those things.
Yeah. If blowjobs were a bad idea, then nobody would be having them.
You wouldn't have to ban them.
Good ideas don't require force, guys. Authoritarian psychopaths.
So on the social issues, and I don't like Ted Cruz on foreign policy. He admits I like Rand better than Ted Cruz on foreign policy. I'm still not crazy about Rand all the way. But, someone like Ted Cruz is like, no, I'm not like that. I think that there's, we should be at more wars. Like, I don't even know how anyone could say that with a straight face.
That's same with Jolly too. Jolly loves it.
Oh, well, he lobbied for war.
Yeah, he made his. That's the other thing. You got to remember, guys like Jolly made their money. They made their livelihood. They feed they feed their kids off of war.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
That's what they did.
that reminds me. I was reading the propaganda piece in the mail at my friend's house yesterday that came in with Jeb Bush's endorsement of David Jolly.
Oh my God!
And there's a piece on there where it says David Jolly, as a small business owner, understands the needs of blah 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 blah. I want to know exactly when a job on K Street qualifies as being a small business owner.
A small business. I mean, he does.
Does anyone
own,
know what his small business that he owns is?
He does.
I don't.
He owns a lobbying firm
Oh.
that makes millions of dollars lobbying.
Oh. And what? There's only a half a dozen of them there splitting those millions of dollars amongst themselves. So it's a
Probably.
small business.
Technically,
It actually
fits
he-
the definition of small
He
business.
could be
Okay.
the sole employee of his lobbying firm.
There you go. There's a great example of how they misrepresent exactly what they do to get your vote.
Yeah, it was 2010. He did open his own lobbying firm. He went from working for it. He was working for one of the largest lobbying firms in DC, and then did start working for his own. Now, I haven't seen anyone else that is attributed to that lobbying firm. But in the last several years, and every company that's represented by the lobbying firm, 75% of them are defense contractors.
Small business doing big damage. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are large defense contractors. And the other ones, and this is what's funny, because I was looking up all the companies that contract his lobbying firm, and one of the companies, their sole purpose is to get federal incentive money for other companies.
One big circle jerk up there.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Moving on.
Sorry for the interruption.
But yeah, so I think the lawsuit is, I know a lot of people are really excited about the lawsuit, like, oh, they're going to sue the government over the NSA. I don't see the thrill. Like, I don't see the excitement.
I don't see it either, man. I don't see it either. I view it as a waste of time. Again, you're taking time away. Here's what this takes time away from: the 2014 midterms. Mm-hmm. What's going on with special elections around the country, because there's elections going on all over the place, is that guys like Rand and Ron and a lot of these other people could be using this time right now to talk and to explain to people that support them on how to actually get them elected down the road. Because the NSA lawsuit ain't going to do that. It's one of my biggest problems with these people is that they're not trying to empower the people that are their supporters. They're trying to just get as much money from them as possible without giving them solid information on what they should be doing in their own local communities. It's sad that this is the case, but this is totally the case. Now, I'd love to find out the real reason for this, and I'm afraid I know the answer to it. However, it's just one of those things where it's sad, because we shouldn't have to have this argument. We should be able to have a unified front. There is a pathway towards unity. There really is. It's not, and we've tried. I'm not even going to say we haven't tried. We've really, really tried. Mm-hmm. Right after the 10 election and up until maybe a year ago,
Halfway through 12.
maybe halfway through 12.
After the primaries in 12, I think.
Yeah, after the primaries in 12, we realized that they were just not going to go down the right road. Mm-hmm. And it is sad. And it's sad that we're the ones that are blamed for, like, a lot of times in those circles, we get, it's those libertarians that are all mad and shit, And don't get me wrong, I'll be the first one to admit that I'm kind of an asshole. But I'm not an asshole without reason. I'm not an asshole without being able to tell you why I'm pissed. I'm not angry for no reason. I can explain to you pretty eloquently what the problem is. I mean, hell, we do it on a radio show on a weekly basis.
Twice a week.
We explain it. And I don't do it to get people to agree with us. I get it so you understand that there is a path. There is a pathway to unity. It ain't running through the GOP exclusively. That's for damn sure. And what you've done is you've turned somebody, this is where I'm at now. You've turned somebody that was willing to work with you and was willing to help your candidates out. Like I was willing, and I've done it in the past. In the election for Ron Paul, my area that I had covered as the regional coordinator was the region that got the most votes. You guys made the decision to abandon us after the primaries, after you got your ass whooped. Don't blame us now when we won't work with you now. There's no need to do that. There's no need to blame us because here's the thing. It's insulting for you to blame us. I'm personally offended by it. But at any rate, hour number one's in the bag. Hour number two is coming up. 1787network.com. If you would like to call the program, 1-800-525-4032. We'll see you after this break.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with cameras. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
At Auto Body Unlimited, they work with their hands and heart to provide outstanding high-quality work and customer service. They specialize in European automobile collision repair work and refinish. At Auto Body Unlimited, they bring your car up to manufacturer standards or they will buy your car back. They have dedicated equipment and use the same processes and paint that you would get from the factory. At Auto Body Unlimited, they don't work for the insurance company, they work for you. Auto Body Unlimited is located at 1300 Sunset Point Road in Clearwater. Call 727-443-4041 or on the web at autobodyunlimited.com. Visit Auto Body Unlimited for all of your repair needs. They work for you. If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
Don't be mistaken. I believe in peace, but I won't be taken. I will not submit to authority, man. I'm ready to die, but not for love. See the signs appear. It's gonna happen of the man with the rifle in his hand. Don't be mistaken. I believe in peace, but I won't be taken. I will not submit to authority, man. I'm ready to die, but not for love. See the signs appear. It's gonna happen here.
This is Liberty Underground with Alex Snicker, Danielle Alexandra, and Greg Bowen on the 1787 Radio Network.
Well, good morning, Clearwater, Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg, everybody, especially in District 13 today. This is Alex Snicker, co-host, Liberty Underground, along with me, the Duchess of Doing Stuff, Danielle Alexandre. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Doing well?
I am.
All right. Also in here is the Prime Minister of the Sinister, Greg Bowen. How are you doing, sir?
Great.
How are you working the boards well?
I'm trying.
How are they working for you?
A little planky. That's all
A little planky? what does planky mean, by
I
the
don't
way?
even know what that means.
Yeah, I don't even know what the word planky means.
I was playing on the board. Yeah, bad joke.
Okay, my bad.
Sorry.
All right then. All righty then. Well, let's get right into the news. Now, the citizens in District 13 that represent the majority of the listening audience here on the Tan Talk Radio Network do have an opportunity on March 11th to make a decision. Or are we going to the fake websites first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. Let's do that. Well, there's fake websites going on in this election, so let's talk about that part first.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I don't know where you're going now.
Well, let's talk about the fake websites.
Well, and this is the GOP has actually created 18 fake websites for Democrats around the country. So when you go to like Nancy Pelosi for Congress, it's actually a website that attacks Nancy Pelosi, and then the GOP has done this. They've done it in District 13 too. So if you go to Alex Sink for Congress, it does the same thing. But they've done 18 of these all over the country. Representative Ann Kirkpatrick's. If you go to annkirkpatrick.com, the site is like, it has her logo, but then it actually puts in like, this is everything she's done in office.
Like all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
I just opened it. Alex Sink for Congress actually redirects directly to GOP.com.
Oh, they took the site down.
The site is gone, and it just redirects to GOP.com now.
Oh, they took the sites down. Now, hold on. What did you guys think about this, by the way? I'd like both of your guys' opinion on this one before I give you mine.
Well, I know what your opinion is on this, and I disagree with
Well,
you.
Danielle, go ahead and give me your opinion on this right now, and then we'll go to Greg.
I think that, listen, I get that it's legal. I get that you can do it. I think it's in poor taste. I think that if you can't win an election on your own merits, then you really have bigger problems than attacking the other person.
Greg?
No, I'm along with Danielle on this. No, it's not illegal. It is absolutely shady. It shows just how shady these guys are, how ethically and morally bankrupt they are, and how they will do anything. And there really is no line that they will not cross as long as they achieve more power.
Wow. Both of you guys. Now, here's the thing. Let me ask the question another way. If you were to put up a website of somebody that was running for office and put up their voting record and say, this is what they voted on, this is what they've done while they were up in office, how is that a bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad thing to do that.
Well, how do you think it's unethical, though?
I don't think it's a bad thing to put up their record and say, this is what they're doing. I think it is unethical to buy the domain Alex Sink for Congress and then make it an anti-Alex Sink page. To purport to appear as though you are a supporter of Alex Sink and then use that to defame her.
I'm okay.
I don't like her at all, but I still think it's shady.
Yeah. I don't have any problem with a candidate putting up what they would do against someone's record on their own website, saying that these are all the things that person has done in office, and this is how I'm different. But I completely disagree with buying a domain with someone else's name on it to attack them.
Man, I'm totally for this.
I know you are.
Like, I'm mad we don't do this.
I know that you would support this. This is totally in line with the things you like to do.
Yeah, I would. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about buying one. I'm thinking about starting with one. I want to do. I think I'm gonna do Chris first. ChrisForGovernor.com or something like that, and just putting one up.
Now the Dems are just going to go buy all those domains so that you can't get them.
Well, they might if they're listening. If they are, great. If not, then Hey, look, and the funny part about it is the GOP has done this to us personally.
Yeah,
they did this for the which one did they do it for? What website did they buy? What domain did I have that they bought the .org one for and had to go to rpof.com?
Oh, I don't remember. I know that it happened. I don't remember what website it was.
Might have been Liberty Empowerment Institute, maybe. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it was. I think it was Liberty Empowerment Institute. And it wasn't like the biggest names. It was actually the guy that was the state chair of the 912 groups.
Yeah.
That actually the state person for the 912 groups that actually did that bought that website, which I thought was. I was a little bit honored and insulted at this all at the same time, which was a very weird feeling. That I felt like, well, I kind of arrived, and at the same time, it was like, you mean guy, But so they did this also for Alex Sink.
Yeah.
But that election's still going on right now.
Right.
What's the latest on this one?
Well, there was a candidate forum over this past week. It was on Wednesday. Now, Alex Sink didn't go. She actually hasn't gone to any of them. And at first, David Jolly was not going to go as well.
Yes.
But instead of canceling it, the organization that was putting it on said, well, that's fine. Well, Lucas Overby has confirmed, so we'll just let him speak to the people.
Yeah, so it was going to be only Lucas Overby.
It was going to be only Lucas.
Not because the other people were banned or barred, but because the other people were refusing to show up. And Alex Sink is doing this all over the place.
Yeah, Alex Sink won't say yes to anything.
Yeah. Now, to David Jolly's credit, he did say after the debate, when Lucas pressured him on it, that he was going to be at this. That he would go. So that, to his credit, he was going to go, but he was only doing that because he's seeing what's going on, and Lucas is is going out there and earning votes.
Well, Lucas is gaining momentum, and if you let him start having all these forums where he's the only one speaking, he's gonna endear himself to a whole room of people.
Well, especially because that room also is going to know that the other two people were invited and they refused to show up.
So David Jolly did show up. Now, in that, and I think this is funny, there was a cute I thought, funny quote from David Jolly. He was speaking about Lucas at the time, and his quote was, "He's smarter than me."
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? If libertarians did have money to do commercials, you could actually do an attack ad without ever doing an attack, because you would actually just be able to say, well, what does Alex Sink think about Lucas Overby? Oh, I like him. What does David Dolly say about Lucas Overby? He's smarter than me. You might as well just vote for Lucas Overby then. That could be the commercial right now if Lucas had enough jack to just put out commercials. And that's not really an attack commercial, right? Because you're actually you're not quoting them for like their support on Obamacare or anything. You're finding the nicest things they've said about you, and they're playing that. That's not really an attack ad, I don't think. Right?
No, it's getting their endorsement.
Yeah, right.
The other candidates in this race have endorsed me. Please vote for me.
Yeah. If you're looking for a smart person to be up there, and you were thinking between Lucas Overby and David Jolly.
David Jolly says it's Lucas Overby.
David Jolly would say, well, you should vote for Lucas Overby. Again, we're not making this up, by the way. The reason, and we're not taking it out of context either.
Well,
go ahead.
I'll put it into context. David Jolly went up there and was asked, they were both asked a question, a policy question. David Jolly took the time to basically attack Alex Sink.
Yes.
Now, Lucas came in there and said, you know, I'm not here to talk negatively about either of my opponents. I'm here to offer real solutions. Here's my solution. David Jolly said, he's smarter than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
so even in context, we're not
Right.
we're not exaggerating.
I'm not exaggerating.
We're not making this up.
yeah, it would be nice if we would be able to just make this up, but we can't because that's what
happens.
The truth sometimes is way better than faking it. Yeah. And so that's what's going on in this race. And Alex Sink is nowhere to be found. I mean, she will not go out and do any additional debates. There's one more that's going on. We got to get some more information on it. The chamber one. We got to get some more information on it. I know there's some things working there. It's possible that Sink is going to be there. I think Sink's going to be there. We don't know for sure if Lucas is going to be there or not. And the best part about all of this is that at every opportunity, Lucas has really shown himself to be really good on the issues, a professional, a person that is well worthy of your vote. And right now, there is about 30,000 have been turned in, so there's probably still about another 160,000 absentees out there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are probably just disgusted with both of them. Some of them might even be listening to the show right now. You need to just turn that ballot in for Lucas. That's what you need to do. You need to take your absentee ballot. You need to turn it in for Lucas. Not only that, but you got to go around and just go talk to 5 or 6 of your neighbors and ask them to do the same thing. Because your neighbors have seen the same attack ads that you've seen. They're disgusted like you are. They're just looking for somebody to take them over the top to tell them, no, it's okay. You can vote Libertarian.
They've
cool.
been visually assaulted on their TV just like you have.
Yeah, they have. They've been visually assaulted on your TV.
I've been visually assaulted on my TV.
Yeah, and I don't even. Yeah, we don't even live in district.
We don't even live in the county that the district is in.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is there is the ability to not do that.
Oh, no. They're willing to spend the money just in case somebody from District 13 is watching TV at your house.
Yeah.
That's why they're doing it. They think that this is a great plan.
Yeah.
It's funny when, Alex's son Michael gets dressed in the morning and we have on like Bay News 9. And by the time I go to take him to school, we've seen probably 6 or 7 commercials attacking one another.
Yeah.
And one morning, Michael looks at me and he goes, why do these people hate each other? Why do David Jolly and Alex Sink seem so... He goes, why are they so bad? Because all morning long, the 6-year-old had been assaulted with attack ads for Jolly and Sink, where he was now asking questions. Why are they such bad people and why are they on TV?
Just another way they're damaging our future and hurting our children.
So I thought that was funny. I'm like, well, that's what, and he has the, because we go walking. So he stole one of those Lucas Overby cards. So I'm like, well, that's why we want people to vote for Lucas Overby. And he's like, yes, I saw TV and Alex Sink and David Jolly are bad people. We didn't even have to tell him. He just watched TV.
He doesn't need to know the intricacies of government to realize that these people are evil.
Just bad people.
And I actually think, and again, I might be a little off base here, but I'm going to give you a theory here. I actually think that the commercials that they run are done on purpose. They're done attacking on purpose, and they're overwhelming people on purpose for two reasons. One, for the base of people that they know are going to vote, that they want to make sure that the other person's so scary that they'll vote for that person. But the second reason is else that doesn't really care a whole lot but may go and vote. They want them to be so disgusted that there's no way that they'll vote.
Oh, I think that's absolutely.
I think it's
true.
a combo, but I think it's a combo thing. I think that these commercials serve two purposes, and I think the first purpose is to secure the base and to say, the whole cyanide versus hanging thing, and then the second thing is everybody else. We don't want you to vote. Like, we don't want you, because they don't go and visit those people.
Well, they don't want them to vote because that is when a third party's going to win.
Yeah.
If those people who are disgusted with the two parties, which happens to be 70% of the voters that are just disgusted with the two parties, and if those people actually show up, there's no way these guys can win.
Yeah. Well, and you know that 70% number is right. One, because polling data has said it, but also because voter turnout has also has something to do with that. Because you see that in this race, they are not going to get. The only way that they get above 30% is with Lucas, because Lucas will bring in that 10 or 15% that weren't going to vote. Now, is that going to be enough for him to win? Because you can equate that, you can almost double those numbers, considering that they won't even get to half the people voting. So if he's able to bring in 10 or 15%, then you're looking at actually 20 to 30%. Do you guys understand what I mean by that?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
So. If Lucas is able to have that happen for him, which it's very possible, by the way, it is entirely possible, and take that into account with the 12% that he's already getting from the super voters, which is a big number for super voters right now. 12% is a big number. I know it doesn't seem like it, but all you need is that 12% and the rest of the super voters, and then go grab the rest of the ones that wouldn't normally go vote. You don't even got to pick up all those people. All you got to do is pick up 10 to 15% of them. He wins.
Oh yeah.
And again, the media is not going to report on this. Politico's not going to put it in their articles. You're not going to hear about this. But it's the truth, though, because the numbers don't lie. The numbers are the numbers, and that's what is going on in this race. So if you're within the sound of the sound of my voice, and you're in District 13, go to the polls. Or if you're an absentee voter, then turn in your absentee ballot. If you need to vote early, then go and vote early. Find your polling location and go and vote in this race. You have an opportunity here to completely change the conversation that's going on in Washington immediately. Because both of these parties have put in about $5 million for this race.
Which
I think
is
together.
Disgusting.
Which is pretty disgusting. And again, here's what they did, though. They put in $5 million, and instead of saying, this is what will fix the country, this is what I would be elected to do in an office, and came with a positive solutions-based message, instead of doing that to try to educate you, the voter, as to what they're going to do in office, they've chosen to use that money instead to attack one another, not tell you what they're going to do while they're in office, to not empower you with the information to make the right choice, but to use this person's going to hang you, well, that person's going to poison you with cyanide argument. That's what they've done. It's an insult to you as a voter. Like if I was in District 13 and a regular voter in District 13, I would be very insulted right now. I would be insulted because they're not telling me what they want to do. They're telling me how bad the other person is with information that is, while all of it's accurate in some form or another, none of it actually tells the whole story either.
Well, and if you were to and even if it was just one side or the other side, like even just Sink was attacking Jolly, or Jolly was attacking Sink, as you look at it, when you watch these commercials, and I try to look at it as if I didn't know any of the players in this, what would I feel about this commercial? And I look at the commercial and say, well, yeah, that sounds horrible, and I definitely wouldn't want that person representing me, but you haven't given me a reason why you'd be better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, David Jolly puts out a commercial that Alex Sink is bad. Yep. And she's done actually worse stuff than what he's putting in the commercial. Now, Alex Sinks puts out a commercial that says David Jolly's a lobbyist, and this is all the stuff he did when he was lobbying. Yep, that's true. He did that and then some. Now some of the stuff she attacks him on, he actually wasn't doing. But there's a whole bunch of stuff he was doing that she's not attacking him on. And the other part that Alex Sink doesn't tell you, by the way, is that Alex Sink gets tons of money from lobbyists.
She's actually paying for the commercials because of donations from lobbyists while she attacks David Jolly for being a lobbyist.
Yeah. And that's not us saying it. That's Tampa Bay Times.
And the funny thing is, the reason I think that they don't go full bore on all the wicked things that the other one does is because if they do, they will convince people to vote for Lucas. Right. People are going to be like, wait a minute, these two people really do suck that bad.
Yes.
Yeah. At the same time that, and everything that David Jolly is saying, like, he's saying all these, he's saying, well, she wanted all these federal incentive funding, but then he lobbied for the same incentive funding. Mm-hmm. So they both, like, everything that they attack each other on, we can't have another lobbyist. That's why I'm taking lobbyist money to pay for these commercials to tell you. And then he's like, well, we can't have another person that just wants federal incentive funding to go to everyone as I lobbied for a bunch of federal incentive funding. Like, what?
Yeah, it's and again, the campaign has been calling, the Overby campaign is phone banking heavy for the absentee voters right now. If you're a libertarian and you're listening to this show, by the way, make sure that you contact the Lucas Overby campaign.
Even if you're not a libertarian and you want to just see change in government.
Yeah.
LucasOverby.com.
Yep, LucasOverby.com. But they're not coming to you with any solutions whatsoever. And when the Overby campaign has gone out and talked to people that already turned in their ballots, they're getting the answer some of the time. Not every time. Not every time. But some of the time, they're actually getting the answer, oh, yeah, I already voted for Lucas. And that's because of one debate, being in one debate. Imagine if the media had even coverage right now. Imagine if the media actually covered all of the candidates in a race the same amount. Or not even the same amount. Look, if they gave libertarians half the amount that they gave the Democrats and Republicans, we're going to win elections.
We'd win.
And more for the reason that people that aren't politically in the know, that have chosen to just exit out of the political process by just mere happenstance of listening to a radio or a TV or watching a TV or something, would have heard about these candidates and they would go, oh, there's somebody else in the race that's not a DNR. You know what? I think I'll go vote for that person.
Wow, I have a reason to vote again.
Yeah. Now, we know the media is not going to make it any easier for us. I mean, again, they've gone about as far as I think they're ever going to go with Lucas. I'm surprised they went this far with Lucas.
Well, several, and I have to give the Tampa Tribune credit, because 2 articles came out over the weekend that both encouraged readers to take another look at Overby. Both said that and one of them was he was a friend of Alex Sink's.
Yeah.
And said, I really like her. She's my friend. But I also know what goes on up there. I also know that she's attacking for Jolly for being a lobbyist as she takes lobbyist money. I know that Jolly lobbied for everything that we don't want. It's time we take a look at Lucas Overby. He's not beholden to the other 2 parties. Steve Otto said, it's time to take another look at Lucas Overby. He's the only one that seems like he has that he's bringing forth very well thought out solutions.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, these people aren't necessarily, these aren't libertarians.
No.
That are saying this, by the way. This is not the base. It's not like, if it was me saying it, wouldn't be any news whatsoever.
Right.
Again, I'm libertarian,
Vice chair of the party.
Vice chair of the party. I'm supposed to say that. I believe it. Yeah. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm supposed to say it anyway. This is Chris Ingram saying this stuff.
Right.
Which, again, I didn't like some of the other stuff he said in the article, but at the same time...
I'm talking about the Tampa Tribune articles, not the Chris Ingram article.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that article. But the thing is this. And the people are irked. Again, I've knocked on enough doors in the area that I can tell you better than somebody on Facebook telling me what's going on. Right. Because I wasn't on Facebook to find this information out. I was actually at the doors of the voters to find this information out.
So you're saying clout score to knock score, you're way up on the knock score than the clout score.
Correct. I am much higher on the knock score than I am on the clout score. But to listen to these people, oh my gosh. Hold on, we got to bring something else up here because I just saw this though. Because now you said that David Jolly said that he would have voted to raise the debt ceiling increase, right?
It's in the paper, yeah.
Yeah. So now Alex Sink now says, just to try to one up the stupidity here, Alex Sink will say this Sunday on the Political Connections on Bay News 9 that Americans working fewer hours because of Obamacare is an exciting prospect.
So unemployment is a good thing.
Yeah, people being able to work fewer hours.
People being forced to work fewer hours so they're not a full-time employee and the company is no longer obligated to supply the health insurance according to the ACA and they now have to get on government programs is great, is what she's saying, essentially, right?
Yeah, basically.
Right. Now, David Jolly, although this is David Jolly's answer to the debt ceiling, and he says he would have voted to raise the debt ceiling. He said this to Adam Smith. I blame the president for refusing to negotiate any long-term spending cuts as part of a debt ceiling raise. It's the height of irresponsibility to not include spending cuts with the debt limit raise. At the end of the day, though, if this was the only legislative option, I would have supported it.
Now let's give you the Alex Sink thing. Sink, and this is from I think from Adam Smith as well. Adam Smith as well. Sink, however, says the CBO report is actually good news that points to the exciting prospect that Americans will have more choices and greater freedom in their lives. Over the years, particularly in the past 5 years when we've been in this horrible economic environment, I've had so many people express to me, "Boy, Alex, I'd love to start a business and I'd love to change jobs, but I can't because I've got good health insurance at my workplace now. I'm stuck in a dead-end job and I'm not very happy, but I have to stay here." Okay. Hold on a second.
I have good health insurance, and this is a good reason to stay at your job. You're being compensated. You have good benefits. A very good reason to stay employed.
Yeah, I don't think that I have a great healthcare coverage and I have a dead-end job are necessarily anything that anybody's told Alex Sink. Like, this is a lie, is what this is. And again, she points, Americans will have more choices and greater freedom, she's saying, because they'll be unemployed or they won't be able to work as many hours because their employers are going to cut their time. That's what she's saying. These people are insulting you. I hope you see this. I hope that the people in District 13 see how much of an insult these two parties want to treat you with the candidates that they support. Now, you got to remember, David Jolly won a primary. At least he had to go through a primary. Alex Sink, when she got in the race, the Democrats threw everybody else out of the race. They pressured everybody else to get out of the race to make way for Alex Sink. A woman that didn't even live in the district at the time.
Well,
wait a minute. And
ever.
David Jolly had residence in the district, but has lived in Washington, D.C. for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
So let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
They both don't live in the district.
All right.
the reality is the Democrats knew they had no chance at that seat. Until Bill Young announced his retirement and then shortly after passed away, the Democrats knew that there was no chance for them to win that seat. So that's why they didn't care about who they put up.
Yeah.
In that race.
Announce your protest. Vote Lucas Overby. Let's take a break, though. Let's take a break. When we get back, our favorite caller, Brandon Jones from the Global Dispatch, will be calling in to give us his opinion on the current events of the day. You're listening to Liberty Underground.
Sunrise
this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with cameras. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
At Auto Body Unlimited, they work with their hands and heart to provide outstanding high-quality work and customer service. They specialize in European automobile collision repair work and refinish. At Auto Body Unlimited, they bring your car up to manufacturer standards, or they will buy your car back. They have dedicated equipment and use the same processes and paint that you would get from the factory. At Auto Body Unlimited, they don't work for the insurance company, they work for you. Auto Body Unlimited is located at 1300 Sunset Point Road in Clearwater. Call 727-443-4041 or on the web at autobodyunlimited.com. Visit Auto Body Unlimited for all of your repair needs. They work for you. If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street, just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
Welcome back to Liberty Underground. If you'd like to call the program, the refresh telecom lines is 1-800-525-4032. That's 1-800-525-4032. And I would like to put out a special request. Brandon has not called in yet, but I would like to put a special request out there. If there's anybody that is listening right now that is a supporter of David Jolly or Alex Sink, I would like you to call 1-800-525-4032. We will give you 60 seconds to opine about the joys of your candidate, as long as you are willing afterwards to answer just a couple questions. And we're going to say 3, one from each of us. So if you're a David Jolly or an Alex Sink supporter... Oh.
You don't have my mic on.
Sorry, you were gone.
Can we make a rule that you can't, your support for that person can't be an attack on the other?
No. No. I'm going to let them go down the road that they want to go to. Because if they go out attacking them, I'm going to go, you've proved my point.
Okay.
You know, so if they want to, you know, you got to give them the rope, you know.
If all you got is how bad the other guy is, then that's our point.
Now, here's the thing. I've said this. Nobody's going to call. So They're not going to call. And the reason why is...
Well, because we haven't given out the number.
No, I just did. No,
Oh, okay. I
You
wasn't
were
here.
not in the room.
I was checking a text to see if we had any texts.
Oh, okay. So 1-800-525-4032. If you do want to call in and you want to opine about why you love Alex Sinker, David Jolly.
Or why you hate Alex Sinker, David Jolly.
Yeah. Either way is fine with me. So wait on that call. All right, so let's continue. We don't have Brandon yet, so what are we going to next, Danielle? Do you got something?
Well,
you got where we're going to go next?
On Monday, in Pinellas Park, there is a city council debate.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's talk about that.
And you are going to be the guest moderator.
Yes, I will be the guest moderator at this debate, which will be a very nice debate. It's going to be Pinellas Park City Council seat number 2. This has the candidates Eugene Hendry, Patricia Johnson, and Keith Sable. And the debate is going to take place at the Daytex Business Center. That's 10300 49th Street North in Clearwater, Florida, 33762. And it's behind the Quaker Steak and Lube, if you know where that is, on 49th Street.
And this election will also be on March 11th. So not only will, if you're in Pinellas Park, not only will you have, I think Pinellas Park is actually in District 13.
Yes.
Yes. You will have two choices on your ballot. You're going to have one city council seat and your choice for Congress. And we will be, I won't be, I'll be just in the audience giving moral support as Alex is the guest moderator.
Yeah, I'm going to be the guest moderator. And if anybody actually has ever seen me guest moderate things, they know that I am a very even-handed person. I'm very fair in my moderation.
Well, I have to say, not only is he very fair, but it's very professional. Like like everybody knows Alex as, he's rants on the radio and he yells a lot, but he is uber professional when he's moderating a debate. He sticks very much to just the issues. He doesn't put any personal inflection. You actually do very, very well in a debate. You're very impartial.
Yeah, surprisingly enough.
I don't understand it at all.
You know what? If you'd understand my personal code, you would understand.
Well, I mean, I understand it, but it's I can tell from, because I do understand your personal code, which is, I don't know if it says more about my insanity or yours, but but I can see from the outside looking in how people may not get that impression like that you would moderate a debate and just be, because I've seen you do it before, just very calm and impartial and just these are the questions. But you do stick to the debate rules.
That's true. There is one thing that I am a stickler for, and that is the debate rules.
So if your answer is 2 minutes or 1 minute, you will only get 1 minute.
I am going to stop them. Some way or another. They will be stopped.
Not stop them. Like, you're not going to tackle them.
I believe he would.
Here's the thing. It's all in varying degrees. You don't start with tackling. You start with just saying, okay, your time is up. And then it says it again. Your time is up. And then if they just continue to go, then the third time might be a tackle. But I think they violated the NAP with the second time because they knew the rules and they violated the rules. And now they're using force or fraud for social gain. Or for political gain.
Now, maybe I'll be the timekeeper so I can give you the signals.
That would be a good idea on your part.
Yeah, it actually would be a good idea.
You should do
so
that.
I possibly could be the official guest timekeeper.
Here's the funny thing. Everyone in this room knows this, but the people listening may not. Alex is probably not diagnosed, but is schizophrenic. And there's about 6 different versions of Alex. And the one that will be moderating the debate is one of the most palatable versions of Alex.
It's a nice version.
A very nice version.
Very nice version of Alex.
And I'm
very different from the version that you get here on this radio show.
There's a whole different version. This version, by the way, has morphed over the years, more so because of the radio. The radio has actually been a contributing factor to the insanity, not a help.
This is the funny thing, and why I laugh so hard when Greg says that is because Greg has been here when we've had conversations, and I will actually tell Alex what Alex I would like present at an event.
Yes.
So that's why he says this, because I'm like, I need candidate Alex at this event, or I need salesman Alex at this event.
Yeah.
And at this event, we want radio Alex.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm even allowed to have the radio Alex out.
Sometimes I want, I call him Alex. Or like sometimes it'll be like, okay, now this time you get to be Alex, or like you get to be my Alex this time.
Yeah, Alex is like the home normal guy. Alex.
Yeah.
So that's why I laughed when Greg said like this different, because he's been there, and the first time that he was there when I was talking about this, he looked at me like I was the insane one.
Hold on. What are the 6 different Alexes that are out there, right? Okay, so you got salesman Alex, right?
You have candidate
Yeah,
Alex.
candidate Alex.
Then you
Radio
have
Alex.
you have radio Alex. You have
Normal Alex.
That's Alex.
Alex.
You also have representative Alex, which that's where you're representing an organization, which is different than the rest.
Which is different than the rest. It's a slight variation,
right?
But it is there though.
And then you have home Alex, which is completely different than all of them.
I would have to put Bulldog in there though. When
Well,
it really
that's
goes
the Alex
when it
that,
really
like,
goes full bore though.
So there is at least half a dozen different versions of Alex.
Like, and the thing is Alex at home, like, take all the politics out and all the radio out and everything, is completely different than any of the rest.
That's true. No, that is true. Actually, that is very true. Or like, I'm going out to the store, Alex, and I'm in a good mood. You know what I mean? Like, that's a fun Alex. Because then I don't really, it's almost like I give everybody a pass.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy.
And then there's Daddy Alex, because when Mikey walks into the room, he's completely different.
And a complete pushover.
Yeah.
Like, the Bulldog that you see is completely gone. Now, I do have to say, he's pretty much, that Bulldog is not, like, home Alex is pretty much the pushover like he is with Mikey. Because no matter...
Unless Mikey pushes me too far.
Unless Mikey pushes you too far. But, like, generally, like, with us at home, he's just sweet as anything. Whatever we want, whatever would make us happy, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is a little it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's as far as schizophrenia, but I would say I think it's multiple personality disorder. Though. Yeah, I definitely would go there. And I think all those guys, and I think all those personalities do sit at a table like that one movie. The one with John Cusack. Remember the one with John Cusack where he went to the hotel and there's all. I do think some of the times those guys sit down there, but most of them be quiet during that time because the Bulldog Alex was talking. So like if that happens, unless one of them can really pitch a case like, no, we're at this event, this is where I belong, and then the Bulldog one goes, all right, but if anything goes wrong, I'm coming.
See, and because of home Alex, I can actually dictate at certain events which Alex I get.
Yeah, because the home Alex will listen and he'll petition the other Alexes to get a majority vote for that Alex.
Home Alex does not want to see me, Kelly, or Mikey unhappy, so that one can be persuaded to keep in check all the rest of them.
Say if you sat in front of a mental health professional, they would be able to diagnose exactly what's wrong with you, but really they just listen to the last 15 minutes of the show and you'll get your diagnosis.
Yeah. I don't think that there's a medicine or a pill that I can take.
No.
Oh, no.
But the first time that we were talking about an event, and I'm like, I don't want candidate Alex. I want salesman Alex at this one. Do you think you can do that? But we have to make sure I don't get Alex, and I definitely don't want Bulldog Alex. And Greg looks over at me like I'm the insane one.
Yeah, I remember that. That one was pretty funny though.
And Greg is like, I don't know what's going on here. Wait, what?
Yeah. What are you guys talking about?
I'm like, and you do not want me unhappy if that does not happen.
Because then there's the unhappy Danielle. And that's never fun.
See, I know that everybody has different faces that they wear. In
everybody does. I'm not unique.
We've defined it in this house.
That's kind of just what was amazing to me is that it's so distinct with Alex. It's been named, and you can talk to him, and he knows exactly what you mean needs to be. And he's like,
okay.
Yeah.
And because I have home Alex, he's like, whatever you want. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a good time. That's America. So you will have moderator Alex at the Pinellas Park council seat number 2 debate, unless these people can habitually go over, and then it might move over into a little bit more of the maybe an assertive bulldogish,
right.
Maybe more still got to keep it professional though, but you just let a little bit out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A little bit, just to make sure everybody's on the level. It should be a good debate though. I thoroughly enjoy the forums and the debates for the smaller seats with people that are serious about the issues that are affecting that area, because it's a totally different discussion than the discussion that goes on with
like a federal seat, or like even one of these the Jolly Sink Lucas Overby debates. I mean, Lucas is able to interject some good stuff, but the majority of it, because it's 2-1, is taken up with the attacks.
Right.
If you go to these local offices, they're talking about what that local government is doing, and I think those are very good things to do. And you as an individual can affect those a lot more than you can affect for Congress. Just showing up to those things and making your voice heard, even 1 or 2 or 3 people, changes what happens in those local elections. I mean, your impact is huge, which is another reason they don't tell you about them. But
absolutely,
it's another reason they're not on the TV, except for a little bit. But it really is. It's one of those things where you, as an individual, have a phenomenal way of being able to affect change, and it's a good thing, not a bad thing, actually.
Speaking of affecting change, something we talked about last week on this show, the blanket ban in Pensacola.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up real quick.
Yeah, what's an update on that one, Greg?
Well, last night, the city council held a meeting. We were talking about going up to Pensacola for that. I know our schedules
which we
were
could not do.
Yeah, all of our schedules were madness. But on the bright side of that, there was a lot of activism in that area to stop it. Last night, the city council held a meeting and unanimously passed the amendments to remove the no blankets for the homeless ordinance, and the task force on homelessness also passed as well. So the activism did bring about change locally there, and I congratulate Father Nathan Monk and all the activists in Pensacola who stood up for people who were being downtrodden, and I think it's a great thing, and I call that a victory.
Here's the thing. Jeremy Basso is another guy that should be announced here as well.
Right.
We know Jeremy. He ran for office before. He didn't make it. They tried to actually have him arrested for defending his property, which was pretty funny. So that guy is another guy that's up there that was doing good stuff. And after his election, he didn't end. He kept going. And that should be congratulated because he got in the middle of that issue. He helped in a way of trying to make sure that ban was removed. And so good on him, actually. I'm glad to see that happen. And I'm glad to see that city. Yeah, and I'm glad to see that city council did change their mind. Yeah. Because that was a dumb rule. That was really dumb. I mean, you're going to ban blankets in Florida, which normally would not be too much of a problem, except for right now, it is as cold as could possibly be.
And it was snowing in Pensacola.
Yeah, and it was snowing in the place that they're trying to ban blankets. Bad move. Glad you saw it the right way. Glad you lifted the ban. Now you guys should work to remove all those people from office.
Yeah. Because whoever thought that was a good idea should never be in government ever.
Who knows what bad idea they're going to offer next?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that was just absolutely ridiculous. No, but I'm glad to see it was defeated. And that, of course, was defeated because of, large public outcry. So, that's a good thing. I like to see when citizens band together and, fight back for, I mean, I don't even know how anyone thought that this was going to fly and make sense that you're banning blankets in the middle of winter for homeless people. And then to know that the homeless shelters that you have are very restrictive and not allowing large amounts of people in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What can you do?
I'm just glad that score one for the good guys on this.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Score one for the good guys on this one. We didn't have to go up there and hand out blankets. Again, it's just so far from Pensacola. Would have been a lot easier if they'd have tried that trash in like Pinellas Park or something.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been as cold.
Yeah.
I wanted to go up there. I had to work the state fair on Wednesday though, so there was no way.
Yeah, we had so much stuff going on between all the different conference calls every night of the week, and then the one night we were open, we actually had to go to the state fair to go work the booth at the state fair. So like it was like, oh man, we can't do this.
Yeah, we ended up looking at the schedule and we had conference calls every night because we had to reschedule one because of Lucas's debate. So the night that we could have gone, which would have been Wednesday, we actually had a conference call because we had to reschedule it to that day from when we took off for Lucas's debate. So
yeah, a lot going on around here, I got to tell you. Now, also, just and again, I know we only got a couple minutes left here for the end of the program here, but wanted to just to make sure. Look, if you when it came to, Lucas Overby has phone banking that's going on. He's got a precinct walk events that are going on this weekend. LucasOverby.com, LucasOverby.com. Go to that website, find their Facebook page. They do a lot of stuff on the Facebook. Go there and make sure that you get involved with what they're doing. Again, even if you went and made 100 calls, if you knocked on 100 doors, if you just did a little, every vote's going to count. Every one of them will count. And we got to make sure that we're putting in, the best thing we possibly can do in order to make sure that this guy gets a win. But like I said, man, there's not to I don't want to make you feel too good about it, but I do want to say some people we're contacting, they're totally already seeing what's going on and looking to help out. And that's a good thing, but don't sit on your laurels on this one. We're gonna have a full court press here in order to make sure that Lucas can get a win. So please do that. Also, we talked about a little earlier before about the Libertarian Party of Florida State Convention. That is going to be happening in May.
In Tampa.
So it's pretty close, especially to this listening audience. So if you go to lpf2014.com, that's lpf2014.com. If you go to that website, you can get all the information there. It's like I said, it's going to be in Tampa. There's some good speakers that are going to be there, but more importantly, I'm going to be there, and that should be more of just as enough reason for you.
All six Alexes are going to be there.
More than likely, you will see different Alexes show up. You will have a different one show up. But come out there, have a good time. Look, I'm the vice chair, so that means I get to sit up at the top, up there, and you know that it'll be entertaining. I can promise you an entertainment value for you.
This will be the last convention that I have to preside over and sit up at the front. So I'm very happy to be doing my last one, my last duty on the executive committee, because I'm very happy to not be running for re-election for any position. Not that I did it. I wasn't looking to do it to begin with. The party needed someone to step up. I did it at the time. But I'm very, very happy to go back to not having to do that because we have so much other stuff going on.
That's true. There's a lot going on.
And I'll just be there for the ruckus. If there isn't one, I'll start one.
The ruckus. I love the word ruckus.
I have one in mind anyway.
I love the word ruckus, by the way.
Me too.
That's a really, really good word. I like that. Yeah. Also, our website, 1787network.com. You can go there. We do have the ability for you to listen to podcasts from there through the SoundCloud.
Or our third hour.
You can hear the third hour on there as well. Not to diminish you from your time on Tan Talk 1340, because it is a very good station.
We're not
done. But we are not done. You'll have a third hour. And by the time you're hearing this, you're going to be able to hear that third hour right away. It'll be on YouTube or it'll be on SoundCloud. You can enjoy all of the different fun and frivolity of what is the Liberty Underground show.
So we have enough other, between social media and SoundCloud and all that. I think we have one for each of your personalities.
Not yet. Not yet. We got to get back on Stitcher, go back to Ustream, and find about 3 or 4 more, and then we're good. And then we'll tailor each one to whatever personality it is to just better let the consumer customize their listening choices.
Well, when people ask, man, I don't know how you guys get done all the things that you do, it's because there's 6 Alexes.
Yes. They're all around. They're hanging out.
Unfortunately, a couple of them are copies of copies. So if you've ever seen the movie Multiplicity, you know how that works out.
Touche. That's a good time.
That's just funny.
That is a good time. Anything else you guys want to bring up? Any other short stories that are going on right here?
I don't have anything short. There's some Wiley events going on. Wiley will be in Winter Haven on the 20th. So he's at, I think, the Winter Haven or Lakeland 912, but he's going to be over in Polk County on the 20th. That was kind of a rescheduled date, so I don't have all the details because I memorized the last one, the wrong one. But he'll be over there, and that's all on the website. He's all over the place and doing great. Definitely out there, willing to represent you as governor. And like I said, at the state fair booth, I had people that told me how they didn't completely want to buy into being a libertarian because they didn't think we could win. They didn't think there was a bunch of myriad of arguments against libertarians. And then when they got to the governor's race, said, but I am voting for your candidate for governor because those guys suck.
And also Tuesday, same place as the debate Monday night at the Daytex Business Center on 49th Street is the meeting of the Libertarian Party of Pinellas County.
Oh, great.
So if you want to get involved with the Overby campaign and the other political activities of the Libertarian Party in Pinellas County, come on out and join us. We're going to be meeting at the Daytex Center on 49th Street behind Quaker Steak and Lube.
And you can just set up a tent and camp, so like you can just stay from one debate until like the next one. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
They'd love it.
The meeting starts at 7:30. We're usually there about 7, milling about and socializing beforehand. So come on out and join us.
Go out there and join them.
It would be
Go out there and join Greg.
Yeah, Alex and Danielle won't be there, but I will.
More than likely, we will not be there.
Probably not.
Too much to do.
I'm sure we have a conference call or something. I feel like we spend every night on the phone.
We do spend a lot of time on the phone, actually.
We do.
But that's okay. That's not a bad thing. At any rate, again, the website, 1787network.com, guys. We'll see you next week.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with cameras. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
At Auto Body Unlimited, they work with their hands and heart to provide outstanding high-quality work and customer service. They specialize in European automobile collision repair work and refinish. At Auto Body Unlimited, they bring your car up to manufacturer standards, or they will buy your car back. They have dedicated equipment and use the same processes and paint that you would get from the factory. At Auto Body Unlimited, they don't work for the insurance company, they work for you. Auto Body Unlimited is located at 1300 Sunset Point Road in Clearwater. Call 727-443-4041 or on the web at autobodyunlimited.com. Visit Auto Body Unlimited for all of your repair needs. They work for you. If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
Welcome back. Hour number 3, the third hour, the extended hour, the hour where anything can happen. Cats and dogs living together.
Mass hysteria.
Welcome back. This is Alex Snicker, co-host, Liberty Underground. Where are we going next, Miss Alexandre?
Well, it is 11 o'clock on Friday. We have to make our weekly call to public policy polling. It's Valentine's Day. Just love me.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's
We've
Day,
got
everybody.
3 terrorists heading
Let's-
down Bakalakadaka Street.
Let's call public policy polling to wish them a happy Valentine's Day. And for our Valentine's present from them, we would actually want to have, I don't know, maybe Adrian included in the next poll.
I'm thinking so. I always love calling them. I find it so much fun.
This is my favorite part of the show now, just so you guys know.
Oh, is it?
It is my favorite segment of the
I
show.
love this.
I'm wondering how long we're going to go. I think we're going to go until November.
I think so. I'm ready to go to
Because I don't think they're
November.
ever going to include them in a poll.
No, I think we should just keep going. I think it's hysterical. I love it. It is my favorite segment of the show.
Here we go.
Happy sound. Happy fun time.
Who we calling for again?
This is Dean Dubnam. He is with Public Policy Polling.
Is it ringing?
Says it's calling.
All right. Dun, 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 dun,
I wonder if they blocked us.
dun, 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 dun.
Aradığınız kişiye şu an ulaşılamıyor. Lütfen daha sonra tekrar arayın. The person you have called cannot be reached at the moment. Please try again later.
I think they've blocked us.
I believe they have blocked
They
our
have
number.
blocked us?
Can't come to the phone right now.
Oh, there it goes.
Please leave a message.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Happy
Dean.
B-Day!
Happy Valentine's Day. This is Alex Snicker, co-host Liberty Underground, calling again about Adrian Wiley. Now, we know that you have not put him in a poll yet, so we are going to continue to call you.
Because we don't want you to think that we don't want him in.
Yeah, because we don't want you to think that we don't want him
Or
in.
that nobody's asking.
Or that
Because we're
nobody's
asking.
Yeah, because we're asking you. So go ahead next time. Put the Libertarian candidate for governor in Florida, Adrian Wiley, on your polls. That way, you guys can stop being liars.
And you could also stop us from calling you. Although
Yeah.
we do really just have fun doing this.
Yeah. Actually, we'll stop calling when you put them in the poll. So you go ahead and do that. We'll do that. Until then, we're going to continue in your voicemail. And we're going to keep talking in your voicemail for a pretty extended period of time.
Until they cut us off.
Until they cut us off. Because we don't really care too much for people that lie to us. And you happen to have been one of those people that have done that.
So stop lying.
Yeah, so stop being a liar. Look, what you need to do, you need to take a class. You need to take a class on how to stop lying, on how to tell the truth.
There may be a
an
12-step program.
There's an ethics class, Liars Anonymous. You can try to look one of them up. Maybe Charter could help you along those lines. There's a lot of different things that you could do in order to stop your lying ways.
If you don't get help with us, please get help somewhere.
Yes.
And please don't take the same ethics class of the people that you are including in the poll.
Yes.
Yeah, because they failed.
Yeah, because they really did fail at that. So don't do that. That would be a bad thing.
Happy Valentine's Day, because we heart Adrian.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Put Adrian in the poll, and we'll see you guys next week, I guess, huh?
Yep.
Maybe then you'll get out from under your desk and actually pick up the phone. Who knows? Maybe. We'll see.
One Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, you're going to be in your office and answer your phone, and we cannot wait.
That will be a good day. It'll
Yeah,
be fun.
That'll be a good day.
I'll be having fun.
Yep. Absolutely.
Mass hysteria.
Yeah, mass hysteria. All right. You can hang up now. There you go. That's our call to public policy polling for the week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That segment of public policy polling was brought to you by the evil Alex.
which is not to be misrepresented by the bulldog Alex.
Yes. Yes.
And it's certainly not pushover, Alex.
No. Not that guy. All right, so where are we going?
So this week, Charlie Crist released his new book. And he did a book signing in Tallahassee where he took the opportunity to tell people that Governor Scott is no good.
Really? Do tell.
Crist is Lenny Curry, the RPOF chairman, Republican Party of Florida chairman, also decided to take the time to go to the book signing to say how bad Charlie is.
Did he? Who did that?
Lenny Curry.
Lenny Curry went there?
Yeah.
I got to give him some. Hey, that's some balls. That's some balls on that one.
Chris' new book, The Party's Over, was up, and I don't know what bookstore it was, but this is up in Tallahassee. And he basically was talking about Rick Scott and how the state has lost large numbers of jobs under Rick Scott, and that, you're going to love this, that he was flip-flopping on many issues.
Yeah, I wonder how many doors Lenny Curry knocked on for Charlie Crist back in the day when he was actually a Republican.
So Crist is now saying that, Rick Scott should be reaching out, cooperating, keeping the conversation going, because that's what's the right thing to do. Although most of the problems that Rick Scott has made worse were started by Charlie Crist.
Yes. Yes. That is absolutely 100% correct. It's really funny. Again, hey, look, guys, seriously, we have to vote for the hanging Rick Scott because the cyanide Charlie Crist, we can't have that. We just can't have that.
But the hanging Charlie Crist was okay.
Yeah, when Charlie Crist was all about hanging, he was okay. It's now that he is cyanide that you cannot vote for him.
I'm so confused.
As you should be.
And of course, the issue of medical marijuana came up. And now Democrat leaders are basically saying that we know our candidate is horrible, but medical marijuana is going to give him a win. This is Joe Belitsky, who's actually a retired state employee, but he, he's in the party and stuff. But he said, my opinion is that medical marijuana is going to take him over the top, being a tipping issue. Scott is just so unpopular, and that will outweigh the thing about Chris flip-flopping on issues from the past.
Yeah, let me say something else, too, when it comes to this. I think the Democrats are really kind of backfiring on this one. And here's why. Because the Libertarian candidate actually does have a lot of people out there talking and helping him in his campaign. And the guys that you're depending on, the stoners, don't have any loyalty to you. They can vote to advance medical marijuana and not vote for you. They don't have to vote for Charlie Crist. They don't have to. And nor do they really give two craps anyway. As a matter of fact, when we explain to them that your party is not the party of legalization and that it's actually the Libertarian Party and they've been lying to you for that long, they tend to get a little offended. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. I've talked to too many of your base, or who you think your base is. Now, me and those people share a hatred for Republicans, of course. But when I go to them and say, no, the Republicans are just as bad and there's actually another option, those people tend to go, oh, really? I didn't realize that. I'll go ahead and vote Libertarian then.
So, and this was actually at a Books A Million. Lenny Curry, the RPOF chairman, arrived before Crist so that he could tell reporters that the Crist campaign was just a lot of smoke and mirrors. He says, Lenny Curry said, this was Lenny Curry's words. He says the party left him, but he's the one who changed his mind on virtually every position he held, virtually overnight.
Yeah, but he was doing that when he was in there, though.
Right. That's what I thought was funny.
Yeah, the whole thing is smoke and mirrors, Curry. You dumbass. What's wrong with you? You got issues. This guy's got straight issues, too. I give him that balls, though, for going out there.
Now, Chris does say that Medicaid expansion is going to be a hugely important issue And even though he does admit Rick Scott agrees with him on Medicaid expansion, he says that it's Rick Scott that can't be trusted.
Oh, it's so funny.
I cannot keep up with the mudslinging in the directions that these people go in.
Well, because you don't know if they're talking about them or the other guy after a while.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
You know, the funniest thing is when Rick Scott, I mean, when Charlie, I can't even say it right. When Charlie,
now you're confused.
When
Charlie Scott?
When Charlie Crist is calling Rick Scott a flip-flopper.
You know, are we, okay, Danielle, I know that we talked earlier about the internet names or about the website addresses.
Right.
And I'm not going to give you the exact address that I would use for what I'm going to talk about here. But could we just do one that was like combining their names together and then just do one site for the two of them?
I wouldn't mind that. Because you're not
Christ,
using
Charlie
their,
Scott.
you're not using a site that would make a someone looking for it think that you supported that person.
Nice.
I think that we should buy the website floridaflipflopoutlet.com, and it's all about the information on Rick Scott and Charlie Crist.
It's a good ass idea. I'm all for that one. God, I wish I was better at putting up websites.
Florida Flip Flop Outlet.
I really wish I was better at putting up websites. There's so many websites I could have that I don't have yet.
I actually think that this election, instead of having someone in a chicken suit, we should have two people, one in each in flip-flop costumes, one that says Rick Scott and one that says Charlie Crist.
Yeah, big flip-flops.
Just a big pair of flip-flops everywhere we go.
And every time they're at a place, you actually just walk around with the flip-flops.
And everyone who's not in the costume is wearing flip-flops.
Yes. Well, maybe in a couple months. Maybe when it warms up a little bit, though. I'm really not going to go outside wearing flip-flops right now. I'm sorry.
Alex's feet are cold.
My feet are cold in here.
Although he is wearing his camo cargo shorts, but he won't put on flip-flops.
That's right. That's exactly
keep
right.
my toesies warm.
Exactly.
When we
Is
were
there somebody calling? You think they're a Rick
We have
Scott
a caller.
supporter?
Oh my goodness.
Are they a
I
Rick
don't know what
Scott
to do.
supporter?
I doubt it.
Oh, that sucks. Liberty Underground Show. This is Greg Bowen. How can I help you?
When we were up in Tallahassee, that was the first thing that someone said, is you were in camo shorts. And it was Jody. Jody goes, shorts? Really? It was like 30 degrees in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it was pretty cold in Tallahassee,
You
though.
were in shorts.
I love my shorts, though.
I know you do. It was just funny. She was just like, shorts? Really?
Yeah.
It was 30 degrees, though. It was cold.
Are you just going to surprise us who it is? Because you sounded very excited.
I am very excited. I am very upset that I still do not have the music to introduce this.
Oh, that really does suck, by the way.
But on the line, we have one of our favorite callers.
Well, another one of our favorite callers right there.
Charco the Chicken.
Yeah, hold on. All right.
You guys need the real music, man.
I know we do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know what I was thinking for us to do, and the problem is that you'd have to go out and find a supplier of deliberately cheap and lousy flip-flops, and that would be the key, to get low-quality flip-flops, and then brand them, one Rick Scott, one Charlie Crist, or whatever. But it might work. I mean, we would put someone who should be going out of business back into business, because we presumably be buying a bunch of these really cheap flip-flops and then just giving them out.
I love how he says someone that should be going out of business.
That's actually a great idea. That is actually a phenomenal idea. We need to go find the cheapest flip-flops we can possibly find,
Ones
buy
that
them
if
in
you
bulk.
wear, they'll just fall apart.
Yeah, where they won't even last like a week.
Yeah.
Cheapest, jankiest
Yeah,
flip-flops.
the quality has to be super low. I don't know how to do it, but I've been thinking about this stuff, I mean, I'm trying to help things. I mean, I might even start calling for this Lucas Ogilvy guy, but God, I hate calling people up on the phone.
I understand, but they have a really easy script for you.
It is really easy.
And I'll tell you this, James, they'll be happy to hear from you. Some of them might even go, are you the same James from the Liberty Underground Show?
They
might even actually say
because
that.
in that region, we do actually have a good...
No, actually, in that region is the one place that you got to remember, it's funny, if you go back and you look at the data behind like the percentages of stuff, I actually think that the show is responsible for the uptick that we were getting in some races.
Yeah.
For Gary, I think it was the uptick. For Ron, I think it was the uptick. For a couple other races, I think that we got you could see the bump.
Yeah. It was the show bump.
Well, you know what's uber cool about Lucas is that he actually has a job where you're looking yesterday, and there's a dude in a weird-ass diving suit going and down a pipe that no diver should go down.
Yeah.
However, it does show that he is prepared to deal with the disgusting slime that is Congress.
Because if you can go down that pipe, you can deal with what's going on in Congress.
Yeah, I was actually scared.
Yeah, there could have been sewage down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, there was not. There was no way that was fun. By the way,
No
way that was fun.
You see, even signed it. You're very cold candidate.
Yeah.
It was so
Oh,
cold
yeah,
in the
too.
morning.
You go in the
mentioned
water
being
too.
Cold, so
Oh, at least he was in a suit to where you're not getting all wet on the inside. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's got to be getting a little wet in there, but at any rate. So, anything, what
I'm
else?
sure there's a leak.
What else is going on out there, Big Jim?
I wish I knew. I mean, you guys seem to know more than me, but I loved your little call to public policy polling, and Florida's media sucks, and I'm the bad cop on that, but we got some good cops, too.
Yep. Some of them are turning a little bit here and there. We're getting some good people, so that's okay. At least Sunshine State News mentioned Lucas for the last article that they had. That's always a positive. And they showed him at 12%.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a bad. Hey, Jesse was at 12% 30 days out before his election, and he won.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm sure his candidates weren't nearly as bad as the candidates we got in this race.
Oh yeah, these guys are bad.
Oh, gosh. That's the thing. I mean, all of the people opposing our people are so terrible, in addition to all of our people being so great as usual.
Yeah, yeah. This one's as bad as you can get.
Cokeheads and flip-floppers.
Yeah, and not all the same person.
And that's not the same person.
Yeah, well...
no, that one actually might be.
Cokehead flip-flops, too, though.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
that's
true.
true. That's true.
All
That's
right.
very true.
Well, I'll let you guys go. I love you. Good show.
Love you too, man. All right, man. We'll see you later, James. I love it when he calls in, by the way.
is so
I
funny.
absolutely adore it when he calls in, by the way. Oh, he should call in more often. He really should.
We should call him every week.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Just start giving him a call. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, we should do that. I love the clowns to the left, jokers to the right. We're going to have more of those out there. There's 2 sets of those now. We're going to have more
There's
of those
2 sets. One is from Seminole County. Who I have to say, Dave Levitt in Seminole County was the first in Florida to actually buy that setup. And then the state party liked it so much we had to get one too.
Yeah. Looks like Collier's going to go down and get one too.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should get one too, just personally.
I've loved that for years. I've always thought we should have done that. I think it was Ohio, an affiliate in Ohio, that actually made the signs for it first a couple years ago.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and actually, I think it was Dave Levitt who actually reached out to them.
Yeah.
And said, "Where did you get them?" And then they told him, and now he's telling everyone. I definitely think, personally, I think we need one of these for the house. Not to have up in the house, but like not to give it to another organization, because we do enough events on our own that would be relevant that we should have a set.
We need some yard signs that say that too. I knew that one was going to get you. I really knew that one was going to get you. I mean, I do admit that we really do need yard signs, but like I was just kind of kidding. I wasn't really kidding.
You weren't kidding at all.
I totally meant it, but
the thing is that you said it like you were kidding, but you weren't kidding. That's why it gets me, because you mean it.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I really am, but I really want yard signs right now. I want ones that mean something that I can put in my front yard.
Now.
Like, I want to buy a Wiley one that just is mine. And I want to buy like 20 of them and put them in my yard and share them with other people. So my neighborhood has like an exclusive Wiley yard sign.
That only our neighbors have.
Yeah. I'm only going to buy enough for every house in the neighborhood. But every house in the neighborhood will have one. Even if they are going to vote for them, they're still going to put one in their yard. Because we're going to pressure them.
It's voter intimidation. Not to vote for our way.
No. I'm
We're
not gonna,
intimidating.
You can vote for
them to
whoever you want to vote for, but you just got to put this in your front yard.
It's intimidation on what sign to put in your yard.
That may be a violation of the NAP.
That's your opinion.
It depends on whose interpretation of the nap you take.
Yeah. There's some people's interpretation of the nap that the simple act of me breathing is a violation of the nap.
Well, to them, it is.
Well, don't be such a wuss then, That's all I'm saying.
Now, the GOP has not only been losing people like Charlie Crist because he's a habitual party hopper. They also,
Even though he does make Nick Eggeroff look consistent.
he does. But
Do something, Nick.
There's been a few people that have now left the GOP over their stance on immigration, and this has just recently. Someone had left. There was a representative down in South Florida who has now left the GOP. She's gone and she is now a Democrat. And it's all about the establishment GOP has taken a very harsh stance against the path to citizenship. Even though 60%, when you look at polling, 60% of Republicans actually agree with a path to citizenship, and 70% of Americans overall agree with it. But now Governor Rick Scott has kind of backed off of that very, strong stance on immigration and has considered backing an in-state tuition for undocumented students, which he's getting quite a bit of backlash for. I actually don't like, giving more in-state tuitions. And I don't. But I think we're kind of making the wrong argument. Why not be mad that we're giving anyone a benefit over someone else? A government-sponsored benefit over someone else.
Yeah.
Like, if you've been in the state for 1 year, what makes you less of a person than someone who's been here for 2 years that the government should pay part of your tuition? That is what in-state tuition is, regardless of where you were born. Let's take that out of the equation. If you've been here for 2 years, the government will pay a portion of your tuition. If you've been here 1 year or less than 2 years, the government doesn't pay a portion of your tuition. Maybe we should stop that whole process.
That totally sounds like fiscal conservatism to me. That is exactly what that is. Yeah?
No. You don't give in-state tuition to anybody.
To anyone, right?
Well, no, if you're a citizen, you can get it.
He is a national socialist.
What?
Yeah.
So
if you're not here legally, you're not going to get in-state tuition. You shouldn't have been here.
Okay, but why should someone who's been born in this country but was in the state 1 year not get in-state tuition, but someone who has been here 2 years, let's say both come from New Jersey. One moved here 1 year ago, does not get in-state tuition. One moved here 2 years ago, does get in-state tuition.
I have no logical answer for that than other to say America.
America.
Yeah. Because that's why.
You want the logical answer? Weed is legal in 2 states. Having sex with a horse is legal in 23. There's your answer.
Yeah, don't try to logic this thing up for me.
In North Carolina, you can marry your cousin, just not your gay cousin.
Well, here's the funny thing is that
this is the kind of mentality we have in this country.
I'll tell you what's even funnier, by the way. I love getting posted on some things about people attacking Rubio and go, that's why I voted for Snicker, on an issue that I didn't have that much of a disagreement with him on.
Yeah,
like that one's kind of funny. Like the immigration one, which what he's talking about up there, I'm not going into the streets protesting the Rube for that one.
Well, now, the bill that he is talking about puts in a lot of biometric data mining on every person in the country. So while I don't disagree with the path to citizenship, I think there needs to be one. I do disagree with collecting the biometric information on every single person in the country for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with Greg's answer on that one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You guys are no help at all today, by the way.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think Alex checked out.
I didn't check out. I had to. Somebody sent me something though, and I looked at it real quick, and I had to see it. So I'm sorry.
Wasn't real quick.
It was like a tire fire.
That was
man.
nothing
like
was real quick about that. You just kind of checked out for the last.
My apologies.
15
Okay,
minutes.
I'm back in the game. Last half hour, I'm in. What are we doing? Where are we going? What are we talking about? Republicans suck. Democrats suck. Libertarians rule. Okay, there we go.
There's
What's
a
next?
board full of show prep over there.
Does that say Rick Scott cannabinoids?
Rick Scott cannabis.
Oh, well, I like cannabis and I don't like Rick Scott.
And the media plays a role in that.
What is that media plays a role thing, by the way? I was
Okay.
kind of curious. I didn't read that one on purpose because I seen that you put it in the prep.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it was all about, though.
Okay, this is actually Charlie Crist was on Piers Morgan.
Oh my God.
And they were talking about how much role the media plays in politics. How much does, and Charlie Crist was not on Piers Morgan to talk about how the media plays a role. No. But other people now are starting to pick it up and saying, you see like these big, like this is a national TV show, Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Charlie Crist is running for the governor of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to be on there, I mean, obviously he's thinking that he's in trouble in Florida, that he's got to really step up his game and make sure he's in more households.
Well, the reason is because he doesn't have a real campaign.
Yeah.
So he's trying to just use the media to cover the fact that he doesn't have a real campaign.
So basically, there's been a lot of talk about how much media coverage is this going to affect the race for any race for governor and things like that. Like we even talked about Alex Sink and David Jolly. How much is the media affecting? How much is their attack ads driving people away or bringing people in fear? Like how much role does that play in an election?
Yeah. I think it plays a big role. I do. I here's the thing. Let's look at it this way. Lucas gets in one debate, in one of them. And how much does that change what's going on? Like, how did that change the media look at it from before to after?
Oh, it changed dramatically. Well, I mean, look at the governor's race. Now Charlie Crist obviously has gotten huge amounts of media coverage. He was getting huge amounts of media coverage in the governor's race before he even announced that he was going to run for governor.
Correct.
Now Nan Rich has been in the race the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And has gotten zero media coverage because they presumed Crist would come in.
I mean, you can go to Democrats and ask them if there's anybody but Charlie Crist in the race, and they wouldn't be able to
And they would
tell
have
you
no idea.
And Nan Rich is not a unknown Democrat.
She was the Senate minority leader, and when I say that, because the Democrats had the minority in the Senate in Tallahassee,
correct,
in the state Senate, but she was the leader of the Democrats in the Senate just a year ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is someone who played she's part of the Democrat leadership in Tallahassee for a very long time. This is not someone who's unknown or nobody, that she's won elections. She's been a state senator. She's been the minority leader for the state Senate. But yet, because Crist said that he might be running for governor, she got zero coverage. And now that he is running for governor, she gets, nobody mentions her.
Well, it's kind of interesting because when she was the Senate minority leader, she was Charlie Crist's enemy, and apparently they still are enemies, right, even as part of the same party.
Yeah. It's really, be honest with you, and it's sad to watch this even for the Dems. Mm-hmm. Like, Nan Rich deserves, in her own party, to have a primary to see who's going to be representing them, which they're going to, and now don't get me wrong, they're going to have a voting primary.
Right.
But if Charlie Crist refuses to debate her, Charlie Crist gets all the media attention, and he doesn't even run a real campaign, then Nan Rich is going to be like, well, whatever. I can't do anything. What I'm hoping that Nan Rich does, and this is, I'd like to actually personally reach out to Nan Rich and to say, look, once they pick Charlie Crist, in an effort to protest this, you should actually go out and endorse Adrian Wiley.
Yeah.
I mean, you agree with him on some stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't agree with Charlie Crist. I mean, you can't let this guy be the standard bearer for your party, which is what you're about to do. You're about to make Charlie Crist the standard bearer for the Democrat Party here in Florida. How is that even remotely okay with you guys?
Like, how is that okay with you people? And I understand the hatred for Rick Scott, but if you hate Rick Scott, you shouldn't like Charlie Crist.
Right, because he did the same thing.
Yeah, did the same thing.
And that's what they've kind of been studying. That a couple of the Florida educational institutes, ones that don't do polling and things like that, are starting to study how much the media affects, because they're looking at a race like, between Charlie Crist and Nan Rich, where Nan Rich in any other instance would be very well respected in this race, and she's treated like a third party candidate. In fact, a lot of times Adrian gets mentioned more than her.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. Now, I don't know what she's doing when it comes to getting out, because I don't see anything from her either.
She's raising money. I mean, she definitely did a decent amount of raising money in last year. She has been doing that. I mean, I definitely think she's probably out speaking places, but I don't think I think the party and the events that she would normally be speaking to, she's really kind of being closed out of, because they've basically anointed Charlie Crist. Now, how much of the media is playing a role in that? When you see Charlie Crist has been on Fox News, on the O'Reilly Factor, he was on MSNBC, Piers Morgan, all within the same week.
Yeah.
And Nan Rich can't even get to speak to her own party in a lot of events.
Yeah.
We should recruit her over to our parties where she can get some respect.
Well, some of her positions wouldn't get her very well respected.
Not really.
We'll talk her into changing.
Well, I hope she's willing to, because she's have to change a lot.
But then when you look at some, a race like when Ross Perot was running for president.
Correct.
Now, he got a huge amount of media coverage, basically because he put in a huge amount of his own money.
But he had money. Because money plays in the media.
Yeah. Now, because he had a huge amount of money, he did get near equal coverage. And even though he kind of dropped out and then came back in,
that was the killer for him.
He still received a large amount of the vote.
Was it 17%?
It was, 17% in a race where, he was basically an unknown, but got equal media coverage, dropped out and came back in and still got 17%.
Damn. Can I finish, Larry? Larry, can I finish? Can I please finish what I'm saying, Larry? It's my only Ross Perot impersonation.
Thank God.
Free your mind, your ass will follow.
Oh, yeah. No. There's going to be a giant second sound. Which he was absolutely right.
She was right, actually.
Yeah. And again, if you want to know why I blame a lot of people that are older than me when it comes to the position this country's in, if you were around when Ross Perot was running and you voted for either George Bush or Bill Clinton, you are part of the problem. You should atone for your mistake of not voting for Ross Perot at that time, because he was the best candidate in that position at the time.
Yeah, no, he definitely was. And, and like I said, 17% of the vote, he had a chance of winning.
Oh, yeah. I think if he wouldn't have got out and got back in, he'd have won.
I think he would have.
And I do think he was pressured to get out.
Oh, I think he was.
I don't know if he was necessarily specifically threatened. I mean, I don't have any firsthand knowledge of that anyway, but he would have done well. And again, with the media, if you let our candidates get not even coverage, partial coverage.
Just let people know there's another option.
Yeah, let them know that there's another option. Now, what they do and what they have been doing, what I've watched in some of this stuff, especially with Wiley and with Overby, is that what they do is the article will be 90% about either the other candidates, and they will get a mention, and there is this person is running.
Right.
Which, comparative to what they used to do, I mean, at least they're adding them. So, I mean, you got to say that.
At least they acknowledge their existence.
Yeah, which, I wouldn't say is the minimum that you should do, but, man, is it...
Still better than what we got.
It's still better than what we had, yeah. You're talking about, mud puddle in a desert, man.
Yeah.
I'll drink it. I ain't happy because there ain't nothing else around. So I'm glad that they're doing that, and it seems to be getting more and more. Lucas's race, what I will say is the articles that have come out recently that have Lucas involved in it have been, I mean...
Pretty favorable.
Pretty favorable. Maybe not favorable, pretty accurate.
Well, I would say favorable when you see reporters saying, hey, I think it's time to look at this candidate, because they seem to be more honest and bringing solutions.
I think that the media person in that aspect is being more honest.
Well, there's been several of them now.
Yeah. No, and it's going to get better. It really is going to get better. Now, and part of that is on us as well. Part of that is on the Libertarian Party itself as well. Is that you got to put up candidates and you got to support candidates that are good candidates. And, like any other political party, we got our share of crazies. We got our share like anybody else has their share. And you know what? You got to just ignore the crazies.
Well, I think the difference in our party is that we've made the rules so that we can't throw out people.
Correct.
We don't have to say that, hey, that person speaks for me, because they don't. The crazies do not speak for the party.
No.
But we don't throw them out where you see that in the other two parties.
Correct. And the other ones, like in all reality, the rules are set up even for those parties as well. The only difference there is that the RECs won't let them in. They'll stop them from being able to go in and speak to the other members of the REC. There won't be any funding, no campaign stuff, and I still think that some of these guys could possibly win, but they don't even go about it the right way either. I mean, it's a whole bunch of sucky all the way around, to be honest with you. Does that sound good? A whole bunch of sucky?
Giant sucking sound.
It's all sucky. Let's go to this next year.
Well, the one good thing that is, and we haven't yet to see if it's a good thing, but one thing that we have seen, at least the attitudes in Tallahassee changing on, is legalizing marijuana, specifically medical marijuana. But there's now two bills. One of them is specifically for the Charlotte's Web strain of medical marijuana, which has been known to treat epilepsy with very good results. And the other is the reintroduction of the Kathy Jordan Medical Cannabis Act, which would actually make it to where if you had a bona fide actual need for cannabis, you would be able to get it prescribed by your doctor. But a doctor would have to sign off on it, just like the Charlotte's Web one. The Charlotte's Web one would be anyone would be able to access that.
Yeah, it's over the counter.
But it's a very, very low grade of THC and
there's
CBD.
already other things out there that have more.
This is
That's
funny.
over the counter.
When they actually did this, Matt Gaetz actually did like a little, he called it a magic show.
I think he did call it
He
magic
did
show,
call
didn't
it
he?
that. He called it a magic show. He's like, well, we have that magic show going on over there. And he was talking, what they did is actually buy hemp products from Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And then they had FDLE come in with the THC testing. You know how they test for marijuana?
Mm-hmm.
And they tested these food products from Whole Foods that were hemp-based and tested them for marijuana. And some of them tested positive, some of them didn't. And they said, would you find these results to be similar to what you'd find in the Charlotte's Web strain? And they're like, well, actually, Charlotte's Web strain would have less.
Yeah. Yeah, that was on the floor of the house in Tallahassee.
It was in the committee.
Or in the committee.
And in Matt Gaetz' committee. So here you have, where there are products in Whole Foods that any man, woman, and child could be consuming completely legally that has more hallucinogenic properties than this strain of cannabis that is illegal.
Yeah.
But is helping, if you do it illegally, is helping epileptic children, especially children. It's been known to help children more than even adults.
Yeah, and the sadder thing right now is that when I'm looking over there, I am focusing much more time on the Lego hockey guy in the commercial than I am the actual thing that Danielle is saying, and I apologize for that. I am sorry, but that looks so cool.
We're going to see the Lego movie.
Yeah, I know,
tomorrow.
but I look at this and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I got to get Mikey one of those. I'm so mad at myself.
I'm so mad at you.
But I'm apologizing though.
I know you are. I'm only
trying
kidding.
to be apologetic here.
I'm only kidding. But
Can you click on that thing before you leave?
No.
Well, we'll never find that commercial again.
I will find you a Lego hockey guy, okay?
Like it's a little Red Wings guy, man, with a beard. Well, he's got a Fu Manchu though, not really a beard. Or a must. What is that called? Is that a Fu Manchu? No, it's not a Fu Manchu. What is that?
I don't
A goatee.
know.
You got a
goatee.
goatee. Yeah,
Okay.
goatee.
Great.
Not what Greg has.
Not what Greg has.
Not what Greg has.
No.
Okay. Are we done now with the Lego hockey guy?
Yeah, we can move on.
Doubt it.
Like, I'm talking about one of like your favorite subjects, and you're fixated on the Lego hockey guy.
Yeah, I know. It pisses me off too. I shouldn't be. But I'm looking at this going, oh. I looked over on looked at the teams and goes, they got a lightning one there?
I'm gonna kill you.
I know. I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm apologizing for it now, though. Oh, here we go. How did that happen?
I don't know.
So what you got in escrow? What's up?
That wasn't me.
I'm gonna switch camera angles just so people can see exactly what.
Where's that camera at?
It's pointing at the door now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Get the hell out then.
All right, I'm gonna go fix this problem. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. The subject is
Cannabis.
should we make a Lego Adrian Wiley?
My God.
Is that what we're talking about here?
No.
Oh, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the reintroduction of the Kathy Jordan Medical Cannabis Act.
Oh, I fully support that.
Well, apparently, so does Jeff Clemens and Joe Saunders because they reintroduced it in the House and the Senate this week.
Yeah, I don't like Jeff Clemens though.
I don't hate him.
He's an authoritarian psychopath.
I don't hate Jeff Clemens. There's a few bills that he's put up that I've liked.
What else?
He's done a lot of, he does better on civil liberty issues.
Oh, I got you. So what else though? Well, except for unless it's you being able to pick your own doctor.
No. So anyways, so this was reintroduced. Now we've noticed that, that there's a kind of a shift in the attitudes of a lot of the legislators in Tallahassee because they understand they're going to have to deal with medical cannabis this year, whether it's by ballot initiative or legislatively.
Correct.
So people that would not even speak about the issue before have started to kind of say, well, we're going to have to deal with it. So maybe we should deal with it legislatively. The issue with the ballot initiative, and I'm not saying I don't support it. Once you amend the Constitution, you can't change any of that. So whatever's written in there, it takes 60% of the voters to change it.
Yeah. I would rather them do this legislatively than via a ballot initiative, only because of, at the end of the day, I want it to be fully legal.
Yeah, and it's going to be very hard when you do it by, when you do medical by a ballot initiative. I'm not crazy about doing it by a ballot initiative. I'm really hoping that we can get it done legislatively and that, that will solve the issue. So I think this is a good thing. I love that it's named after Kathy. She's such an inspiration when you see like the fight that she's made for medical cannabis. Someone who, she's such a strong woman. They kind of paint her in the media. Sometimes they paint her as like this frail little, helpless woman. And although she is very, very ill and she doesn't have a lot of motor skills and things like that, she's a tough woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're very tough. I mean, look, in order to... Here's the thing. At the end of it, when you start getting older in life, especially with the kinds of illnesses that she has...
Yeah, she has Lou Gehrig's disease.
Is that you either get tough or die.
Mm-hmm.
Not to quote Johnny Cash on you, but,
Yep.
you get tough or die at this one because, getting old ain't for pussies. No.
That's right.
But yeah, so she's one of those where, she's hard to understand because she doesn't have a lot of movement in her mouth, but she was giving this speech on the opening of the Florida Cannabis Network office, and she was like, this year we give them hell. And I'm like, I love her.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
We give them out. Look, again, the majority of the population is actually totally supportive of this one.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the majority of the population has already done it. Again, and whether people want to admit it or not, the majority of the population is smoking out.
Someone told us that they think the legislators that are against cannabis are the ones who always wanted to smoke with the cool kids and were told no.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that. I definitely think there's something to that. If I could, I'd go back in time and give them a J. I'd be like, let's all come over here, guys. We're all going to burn one tonight, guys.
Come to the grassy knoll.
Yeah, let's all come over here, get them all high, and then we can get it done. Matter of fact, if you're in... No. What
are you doing?
If you're in college, let's just say that. If you're in college right now, and there's that one person that always asks that you never let them come and smoke with you, just remember, if you're doing that, that person may end up making a law to stop you from smoking as well. You might want to let them go in on the bong with you for a little while. Just saying.
Be a little more free with your weed.
Well, just share a little bit, man. Just share. Oh, I'm not forcing or dictating anything. Just share. You never know what law that person's going to want to make. For all you know that they didn't do that and they got so frustrated they wanted to ban blowjobs. You know?
Are you saying that maybe Ken Cuccinelli was the one who never had a date in high school?
It's possible. I don't know. Be honest with you, I don't know that.
Well,
I have no proof of that.
I have to assume he's never got one, because if you got one, you don't want to end them.
Yeah, you don't want to ban
You don't want to
those
say
things.
that's illegal.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful thing.
I don't want to ban those things. I like those things. So, and yeah, again, if you're a woman and you know that this guy might make a law to ban those things, then help us out.
Maybe women are like, yay.
The women are kind of on his side.
I don't think all women are yay on that. I think
No.
women want the freedom to be able to have a loving relationship with their significant other in the manner in which they choose.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a very professional.
That
way of
was
saying
good.
that.
That was candidate Alex.
That was
Yeah, he
candidate
just popped out
Alex.
real quick.
Pulled out of nowhere.
Let me go ahead and give you something special. You know,
Candidate Alex doesn't come out very often.
not anymore. You don't have to, which is such a nice thing, by the way. I got to tell you guys, in all seriousness, when I was running for office, when I was out there running for office, it was very difficult to not say something about some of the things that I saw. And I chose not to. And I said, because I was under an impression that I should act a certain way and do a certain thing. And then after that election, I realized that was all crap, and I did so many other things that I didn't do. Like even candidate Alex died a little bit in 2010.
No, because even, like you.
A little bit.
A little.
Just a touch.
Just a
I think
touch.
Radio Alex curb stomped him, and he's been unconscious for a few years.
Curb stomped him. Curb stomped him. Damn. Jack that man like you ain't ever seen it, boy. He was like, candidate Alex, come here for a second, man. What you need, Ray Jack? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, no, not the teeth, not on the curb. Ow.
Just like American History X.
Oh, what a movie, by the way. You ever see that movie, by the way?
No.
Of course she hasn't.
Oh.
It's an incredible movie that everyone should see, so of course she has not seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. Had Edward Norton Jr. in it, by the way. He was buff in that movie.
Ed Norton, I'm not a huge Ed Norton fan, but there's a couple movies that I love him in, and that's one of them.
The other one's Fight Club.
Of course.
Now, you've seen
Now
Fight
I've
Club.
seen Fight Club.
Love Fight
Thank
Club.
God.
Love Fight
my,
Club.
Oh my goodness.
I love watching Fight Club, man. I will watch that movie over and
We
over
haven't
again.
seen it in a long
I haven't seen it in a
time.
long. You're right. I haven't seen it in a long time.
That's like the most inspiring movie ever.
that is a movie about how some people can actually change the world.
Yes.
Well,
I,
and
they went
multiple
after
personalities.
and they went after the bankers.
I am in full support of Project.
Did
Man.
you know what they? Yeah. Did you? Yeah. What the whole thing was is that they were erasing the credit record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were rebooting the financial system. Yeah.
Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
I think you just like movies where people have multiple personalities.
Well, yeah.
I do
Makes
like
you feel at
movies-
home.
Well, I've never gone to the level of Ed
Dim's
Norton
my
Jr. I've never gone to the level of Ed Norton Jr. in Fight Club.
No.
I got to tell you, that's a guy that should be applauded for his multiple personalities. By the way, I give him something on that one, man. That was a good time. So, what else you got going on here?
Well, there was a trooper who actually pulled over a Miami police officer. She's a highway patrol. Pulled over a Miami officer because he was speeding for no reason, which is a good thing. She was being principled and said, you don't get around the laws just like anybody else. She has been harassed and has now has basically put in complaints. Well, now she's suing because she's over 100 police officers have now harassed her after she pulled over this officer.
What?
Yeah, so Donna Jane Watts basically was just doing her job. There was a Miami police officer that was topping speeds at 120 miles per hour. And she has basically been harassed by over 100 officers and all throughout different agencies. They've been accessing her personal information, harassing her at home and everything else. Like, none of her information has stayed private. They've used their position in law enforcement to pull all of her home information and things like that and have been harassing her.
Wow.
That's what happens. A cop stands up for the right thing that goes against the other cops, and they're not going to get to be a cop anymore, and they are going to be harassed. That's the reality.
The first incident actually happened in 2011. It was in October of 11. The officer was going over 100 miles per hour, was weaving in and out of traffic, did not have lights on or anything, there was no reason, was not on their way to any type of emergency. They were just driving like an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They weren't going to a stop. I mean, they weren't going to help somebody to do something. Dude was just in a hurry.
Right.
But because he thinks that he doesn't actually have to listen to anybody because he thinks he's a cop and he's above the law, he just said, I'm going to speed 100 miles an hour and just cause, all kinds of traffic problems.
Yeah. So her being a Florida Highway Patrol and this being a local deputy, it took 7 minutes of her following him with her lights on before he even realized to pull over.
Well, because he never thought anybody would actually pull him over.
Yeah. So, and after all of that, she gave him a ticket and things like that. And she has now and this is all over the state. People have now pulled her information and been harassing her.
Last time this happened where a cop tried to stand up against corrupt cops and the rest of the department stood against him. His name was Chris Dorner, and he ended up taking shots at all those cops. Mm-hmm. So they can go ahead and push this woman and hope that it doesn't turn out as bad as that one did.
No, that one turned out really bad because they ended up shooting innocent civilians at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they declared like martial law just about.
Yeah, but we only want the cops to have the guns, right, folks?
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what they're doing to their own.
Mm-hmm.
That pulled somebody over legitimately for being an asshole.
Right. He was driving like an asshole.
And driving, not just an asshole, very dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
He's going 100 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic with no lights on.
Right.
So it's not like he was trying to warn people.
Right. He was just driving like a jerk and, could have really done harm to someone. And she pulled him over because she was doing the principled right thing to do, saying you shouldn't drive like that because you could harm someone. And now over 100 police officers around the entire state have used their authority to access her private information up to the point of making threats against her life.
Yeah, because they can tell when somebody does that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All 100 of those people should be fired.
Yeah, at the least.
All of them. They should all be fired right now on the spot. No, nothing else. You should be fired. Because you know why? Because we know that they've warned the cops about looking up our information, and if they looked up our information and told us about it, that they would be fired.
Right.
So by that rationale, you should fire all of those people. When we know Rick Scott's not going to do that freaking jerk scumbag. God, I hate these people. God, we live in a world that's so full of corruption that is defended by so many different people that it just makes you sick. It makes you want to puke, as bad as it is with these people. And we have this show, we try to make fun with it, and we try to joke about it. But at the end of the day, the people you have up in Washington, D.C. and in Tallahassee are just, again, Danielle's not going to agree with me on this one. Because she does not cast the wide net I do when it comes to evil. However, you're dealing with people that are evil. They're dealing with people that will do anything to maintain their power over you. They will lie. They will manipulate the media. They will use the media's resources that they have to make sure that you are not aware of the simple truths in life in order to advance their agenda, in order to take more money out of your pocket, in order to make those people richer. That is not capitalism, folks. That is not what capitalism is. That is not what the free market promotes. We're not here, libertarians in themselves, are not here to tell you that we're going to make a program to give you more money. We're not going to do that. What we're here to do is to tell you we'll get rid of the programs that are taking your money already. So in essence, we are going to make sure that you get more money. It's just not from somebody else. It's just letting you keep what you earn. That's it. You should be fine with that. Because you got to remember this. When they say they're going to take money from somebody, more than likely that person is going to be you.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them. Preach it, Daniel.
I don't agree
Can
with
you get in
calling
on this?
people evil. So it's hard for me to go down that same road because I don't know any one of them.
I talked about a whole bunch of other
well
stuff.
enough to say the word evil, because that would imply intention. But I think that we're, you always get libertarians aren't offering anyone anything, but we're offering you to be able to work hard and succeed in life without anyone trying to stop you.
We're offering you freedom. That's all we got to offer.
Well, and I think freedom is one of those things where most people don't even really understand that they don't have it.
They don't.
So, when you look at it as, listen, we want you to be the final determiner of what happens in your life. That your decisions create the path of what's going to happen, good or bad. But that means that you have the infinite amount of opportunity to succeed. And no one's going to stop that.
You know what's actually scarier? And it doesn't happen that often, but it does happen every once in a while. I will get somebody who will admit, at least in their own mind, they think that they are not capable of making their own decisions and that the government should be doing this for them. And that's the scariest part.
That is the scary part.
That the system has worked so well that these people are convinced that they are not capable on their own, that the system has to do it for them.
Get a life coach. The government hasn't been helping you.
Yeah.
If the government could fix these problems, don't you think they might have done something by now?
Yeah. We've had a war on poverty for how long? And there's people still homeless.
Yeah.
Because government can't fix it.
I mean, we've talked about this before. The government, the politicians have been talking about fixing the same problems for our entire lifetime.
And our parents' lifetime.
It's the same thing every 4 years. They find a different point to make prominent, but it's the same points every 4 years. We got to fix Social Security. We got to do something about healthcare. We got to do something about education, blah, blah, blah. Same things. Nothing's getting better.
Yep. Nope, that's very, very true. Last thing I wanted to bring up here, just very quickly. Did you guys watch the debate between Bill Nye, the science guy, and the other guy that was preaching, or that was there for Nyland is his name, I think.
I tried.
Ken Ham.
I tried to watch it, and the stream, didn't have a good internet connection. The stream was very choppy. I don't know if it was me or just so many people streaming it, but I tried watching it and wasn't doing well. And the person Nye was debating is not the person that needs to be representing that side of the argument anyway.
You wanted somebody better than him?
It's somebody that at least does not believe that the Earth is 6,000 years old. I mean, that's just ridiculousness. I mean, we have human records, civilization that goes back further than 6,000 years.
Yeah.
So
now Danielle has told me an argument about the 6,000-year-old thing. What's the argument that you have on that one?
Well, okay. Here's the thing:
that it doesn't really mean 6,000 years.
No, when they say that the Earth was created in 7 days, it doesn't mean 7 days. That's the argument.
Well, that's fine. Some people do believe that. The person that Nye was debating does not believe that. He takes it very literal.
Science has determined that the Earth was created in 7 equal segments. That there was 7 defined equal, kind of segments that the Earth that created the Earth. That they were very defined, and that's what created what we have today.
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, you know what? Maybe next week we'll do a little bit more on this one.
That might be a Wednesday night.
That's a Wednesday deal. We might do a Wednesday on this one because this is it's an interesting debate, considering that when it comes to politics, I completely disagree with Bill Nye, the science guy.
Right.
Oh yeah, I got really upset with him after that debate. He was doing a Q&A and he was insulting to homeschoolers, and I liked him up until that point. I disagreed with his politics, but what he said just pissed me off, and I did not.
Well, he came across because I read what you're talking about, and he came across as very
condescending,
arrogant, and then also for being a guy of science, gave a very unscientific response to it,
right?
And was saying, well, the only way that you can have good social interaction is by going through school. Like, you can't do it another way.
And let us keep in mind that Bill Nye is a celebrity personality. He is not a PhD. He's not a doctor. He is not like a leading mind in the scientific community. He's a television personality. Right. He had a TV show. He is not this great discoverer of scientific realities. So you kind of have to take that into consideration.
I got you. Okay. All right. Well, it is 12 o'clock, by the way.
We are way over.
We're over. We're over.
12:03.
Yeah, 12:03. All right. Let's end the show today. Again, thank you everybody for listening. If you were listening, if you weren't listening, then I'm not going to thank you because you couldn't hear it anyway. The website is 1787network.com. Go there. You can look at all the different stuff going on right there. You can also go to the Sue brochure for the precinct blast. We did not talk about that this week. We'll have to talk about that next week for sure. But we'll see you guys next week.
Play.
What are you doing, Greg?
Working
The show's
with
over.
Working
The
with
show's
shoddy
over. Can you
computer.
do something here?
The show's over. Go home.
Go home.
Go home.
Name the movie.
Bueller.
Bueller. Bueller.
With the rifle in his hand, don't be mistaken. I've been